said we couldn't. They swore we wouldn't. But every doubt became fuel. And now, we have one purpose: to silence all the critics. They'll never understand the pain we've gone through or the sacrifices we make. They'll never know the weight we've carried or the price we've paid. We've fought through every rep, endured every sprint. Brick by brick, step by step, all of it, building to this moment. Now, the lights are on, and every eye is on us, hoping we stumble. But this is our time, our chance to prove them all wrong.
Months ago, before the start of fall training camp, there was cautious optimism surrounding the 2025 Calvin football season. After all, the successful 2024 debut season produced a couple of wins, several highly competitive losses, considerable momentum heading into the recruiting cycle, and an off-season to develop bodies that were bigger, stronger, and faster. There was confidence that Calvin was a program on the rise and that someday they would be ready to compete with the Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association. Now, 3 weeks into the 2025 season, that attitude has all changed. You see, Calvin has started their second ever season of football with 3 straight wins, highlighted by a convincing victory in the first ever on-campus game a couple weeks ago, and a stunning overtime upset at Heidelberg, Ohio last Saturday night. Indeed, that cautious optimism of a program on the right track has moved to definitive expectations of a team knocking on the upper division door of the MIAA. Tonight, Calvin looks to reach another milestone, their first ever conference win. And they'll try to do it against their US 131 rivals, the Kalamazoo Hornets, a team that is also 3-0 to start the young season. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to another exciting night of NCAA college football on 96.1 The Game and Michigan Sports Radio. My name is Bob Sack, and I'll have all the play-by-play for you tonight. Tim Hiller, the former Western Michigan Star quarterback, will be along shortly with the color analysis. And we're set to bring you this battle of unbeatens. Calvin University hosting the Kalamazoo College Hornets in the first ever on-campus homecoming game for the Calvin University Knights. But first, we'll take a break, and when we return, we'll chat with Trent Figg on our Planning for Success segment, presented by Skipper & Ostrink Wealth Management. Welcome to Calvin Knights football on 96.1 The Game and Michigan Sports Radio, presented tonight by Denoyer Family Automotive.
At Calvin, our faith in God and pursuit of excellence drives us. Our new soccer stadium reflects that commitment, offering a premier space for our student athletes to compete on and off the field. Whether you're an athlete, a summer camper, or a spectator, join our community of Knights at Calvin University.
The mission statement of our program is building champions for life. And I truly mean that when I say that. To me, there's 2 types of programs. There's transactional and there's transformational. And we are building a transformational football program here because we want our young men to leave prepared for the rest of their lives. And so when we talk about being champions, we talk about 4 different areas: in the classroom, in the community, on the field, and then champions of our faith. And all 4 pieces are so important to what we're doing.
The coach just put you in the game. Everything is on the line. Are you ready? Just like a winning team needs a strategy, your finances need a game plan. At Skipper and Osterink, we're your financial coaches. We strategize together, striving to adapt to every financial play. Your victories are our victories. Our goal is to help you be successful. Join the Skipper and Osterink team. Your financial success is our focus.
You don't always see what keeps you comfortable, but you feel it. That's what Bauman & DeGroot brings to homes, businesses, and now Calvin Athletics. Thanks to their expert HVAC services, our facilities stay game ready year-round. Thank you, Bauman & DeGroot, for keeping us cool under pressure and warm when it counts. At Garrett's Appliance, it's all about family, service, and excellence, just like Calvin. As a longtime local business, Garrett's knows the value of doing things the right way. For your home and your future. Thank you to Garrett's Appliance for supporting our student athletes and helping West Michigan thrive. At Calvin University, innovation powers everything we do, from the classroom to the field. It's how we learn, how we lead, and how we grow together. That's why we're proud to partner with Applied Innovation, a regional company providing practical advice and cutting-edge technology, automation and imaging to drive business forward. Thank you, Applied Innovation, for investing in the future, ours and yours.
Welcome inside the Skipper and Osterink Planning for Success here moments before the Calvin Knights take on the Kalamazoo Hornets in the first ever football homecoming game on Calvin's campus. Bob Sack here with Trent Figg as we prepare to talk about this big game tonight. And Trent, as I was thinking about tonight's game with Kalamazoo, I thought back to last year's game with Kalamazoo, a heartbreaking 33-31 loss, which made me think, of course, of last Saturday's incredible overtime win at Heidelberg, and how last year the Kalamazoo game, a couple others, came down to heartbreaking losses in the final seconds of the game. Saturday in Heidelberg, it didn't.
Right.
A walk-off catch by Luke Mishmerheisen gives Calvin a 40-37 win at Heidelberg. What's happened with this team that it knows how to win a game like this?
And that was the first thing I thought about after the game was last year how much fourth quarter adversity we experienced and didn't come out on the winning side. And I'll tell you the difference is our players and their maturity and their enthusiasm. Our players literally in the fourth quarter last week, like audibly on the sideline, said there's no way we're losing this game. We're walking out of this place a winner tonight. No ifs, ands, buts about it. I mean, their mindset's just completely changed. They attack adversity. Not saying they ran from it last year, but we attacked it on Saturday.
So many interesting narratives, so many stories in last Saturday's game down in Tiffin, Ohio. One, of course, was the running backs.
Yeah.
Rare that you have a game where both teams end up with a running back over 200 yards rushing. That happened. Drew Miller for Heidelberg from nearby Portland, Michigan, and of course Hunter Hogan for the Knights. Two very different styles. Miller as a tailback was as though he was shot out of a cannon when the ball was snapped. That's how he hit the hole and picked up his yards. Hunter Hogan, much more deliberate in his probing of the left side of the right side to pick up yards.
For sure.
Tell me about this offensive line, how it's developed, and is Hunter's 240 yards the last 2 weeks because of Hunter or the line opening creases?
I mean, it's a combination of both, for sure. Our offensive line is playing very well right now. They're a year older, they're a year stronger, they're a year more physical. A second year in the scheme. I mean, those guys, our offensive line's done a phenomenal job, and then Hunter does a really good job of making people right. I mean, Hunter will give all the credit to those guys up front. Hunter's a very special athlete. So it's a combination of both. And we're just very pleased with where that run game's at right now.
So many great calls by you and the coaching staff on Saturday night in Ohio. Gutty calls, blitz packages when it appeared that you put your DBs out on an island, fourth down calls. Just so many things that you did that were the right chess pieces played on Saturday night. Give us a sense of what goes into that blitz package process, which we'll see more of tonight. How many do you have? Without sharing the whole story,
for sure.
How many different ways can you put pressure on quarterbacks, and when do you decide to do it?
Yeah, so it's a chess game that really starts for us Sunday night, Monday morning, and really we try to have our base game plan done by the end of the day, Tuesday, early morning, Wednesday, and then our third down package done Wednesday, Thursday. And so it varies for us week to week based off the team we're playing's personnel, based off of their protection schemes, what that blitz package, what I love Coach Bell, the defensive staff are doing, we're using our personnel, I think, really well this year. We're matching their personnel with our personnel. You see a guy like Caden Bolduc, who's just exploded this year. And, we really dissect what the team does on offense, and then we build the package around that. So every week it's going to look a little bit different. Some weeks the volume can be large, and some weeks it's a little bit smaller. So I'm excited for what we have in the package today.
Speaking of gutty calls, back one more question on Heidelberg last Saturday. Third down, 8 to go in overtime, down by 3, and you throw the fade route to Luke Mishmerheisen. 6'7" wide receiver with about 50 pounds on a 6-foot, 170-pound DB, 10 catches for Mishmerheisen. What goes into the decision to say we're going to ride with the horse that brought us to the farm?
Honestly, as we were driving, I really stay off of the offensive headset for the most part throughout the course of the game. And Coach Dixon and I are going, really just working back and forth there. And we got to that spot, and I just said, hey, throw it to Luke. Like, that's the best thing we have right now. Let's go do it. And he had the perfect play call for that. And they went out and executed. Thomas threw him the ball. That was great. Luke made a phenomenal catch. That was a whole group effort. But, man, so much credit to Coach Dixon and those players for getting that in place.
What a moment. Mishmerheisen really had his coming out party last year at Kalamazoo. 9 catches down against the Hornets last year. What do you remember about that 33-31 loss last year?
Yeah, so that game for us, there were several guys that really came onto the scene for us in that game, and we really experienced adversity, late game adversity for the first time, and we just didn't respond very well. Our situational awareness was not very good. We had 13 penalties in that game.
19, by the way.
19 penalties in that game. Thank you for that reminder. We didn't tackle very well on defense. There were just some things that we could have done a lot better. And so we've really challenged our guys this week, what it looks like to play a clean game, what it looks like to play a complete game. I think that game last week was a huge step for us to battle adversity in the fourth quarter and come out on top.
Talk about penalties. 19 last year against Kalamazoo, very few this year. How was that coached throughout the week and training camp to get this team playing so much more clean football?
Yeah, so I'll say this. Outside of that Kalamazoo game last year, we were fairly clean most of the year, but we've put a major emphasis on that. We did last year as well. There was just so much we were emphasizing last year, being a first year of everything. And so we've really been able to show video evidence of why that's so important to our players, and our players have bought into it. That's the biggest thing.
Kalamazoo had some big weapons last year. Josh Nichols is gone, a fifth-year quarterback. Jonas Spates was their outstanding wide receiver from Forest Hills Central. But they still have talent. Dawson Scupin's a good quarterback. Lucas Hannafin is a wingback. What's explosive about this team that worries you tonight?
Yeah, so, the two guys that you mentioned there, those are their best two players for sure on offense. And then when you look at their defense, they returned their starting defensive line. They're active on defense. I think this team's really well coached. Jamie does just a great job coaching these guys. But, it still goes through their quarterback, still goes through the receivers, just like it did last year.
And a running quarterback. He'll take off and go, and
that's where he's a little bit different. They design runs for him, and so our approach this year is different than what it was last year.
First conference win is still out there for Calvin University. Tonight, there's that chance. What would it mean to win this football game, get the first MIAA victory, and do it on campus?
Yeah. It's huge. Our players know that. Our players know exactly what our goals are. We have them listed, and this is the next one on the board that's really, really big for us. And so our guys are excited. They're ready. This would be huge for us to walk out of this, on top tonight.
Big win 2 weeks ago, another big win last week. Go get another one tonight. Kalamazoo coming up, Homecoming 2025, the first ever homecoming football game on Calvin's campus tonight, brought to you by Denoyer Automotive Family. Kickoff coming up.
I love working downtown Grand Rapids, being able to go to class and then come here and do work where the theory that I learned in the classroom really did apply.
I think the Calvin interns, they have this well-balanced background, right? I also think that Calvin does a really nice job preparing them in communication.
I think the Calvin Network is phenomenal, and that is a huge help of making me feel comfortable knowing that my education is preparing me super well for the rest of my life. So knowing that I can see people being successful in their lives who went through the same educational system as me is very encouraging.
They said we couldn't. They swore we wouldn't. But every doubt became fuel. And now, we have one purpose: to silence all the critics. They'll never understand the pain we've gone through or the sacrifices we make. They'll never know the weight we've carried or the price we've paid. We've fought through every rep, endured every sprint. Brick by brick, step by step, all of it, building to this moment. Now, the lights are on, and every eye is on us, hoping we stumble. But this is our time, our chance to prove them all wrong.
For 149 years, the concept of Calvin University playing intercollegiate football was just a dream. That is, until last year's rousing and successful debut, which served notice that the Knights are a program quickly on the rise. This evening, Calvin sets its sight on another milestone. Tonight, after victories in their first 3 games of the season, Calvin seeks its first ever Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association win in its first ever on-campus homecoming game. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to a clash of West Michigan unbeatens and an exciting night of NCAA college football. My name is Bob Sack. I'm joined by Tim Hiller, former Western Michigan Star quarterback, and we are delighted that you've joined us for this conference opener between the Calvin Knights and the Kalamazoo Hornets. Tim, after last week's thrilling overtime win over the Heidelberg Student Princes, the Knights have sort of served notice to this NCAA D3 football that they are a force to be reckoned with. And we'll talk more about that after the national anthem coming up down on the field with the Calvin Alumni Choir.
Can you see by the dawn's early light
Calvin alumni chorale with tonight's national anthem. Tim, Calvin 3-0, surprising a lot of people. What's been the key to this quick start for Trent Fig, really in the program, not just this season?
Absolutely. The word tonight is maturity. When you look at this group, you don't see a whole lot of freshmen in the lineup anymore. These guys are all back. They're committed. They're a year older, a year stronger, a year wiser. Guys put the work into the offseason, and that offseason commitment gave them the confidence to start strong. It's a different group this year, hands down, and they're more mature, they're more focused, and they're ready to go.
Should be a good one tonight. We'll come back and talk more about Kalamazoo and Calvin. Coming up here on the Calvin Sports Network, you're watching on WXSP Channel 18 and 96.1 FM The Game.
Whether it's a first savings account or a mortgage down the road, Lake Michigan Credit Union is there every step of the way. As a proud sponsor of Calvin Athletics, LMCU is investing in what matters: student success, strong communities, and a bright future for all. Thank you, LMCU, for helping our student athletes and our neighbors dream big and bank smart.
My life hasn't been easy. I've survived many traumas. I was stuck in this cycle that I couldn't get out of, and I hated how I looked. I hated my body. I started to become more focused in my piano studies. I was practicing maybe 4 to 6 hours a day. It was very intense, and it gave me more confidence. I felt that my mental health was healing, and I am now creating programs that affect so many young pianists all throughout the country.
The best part of grad school would be the connections that you make, not only with your cohort, but with the professors as well.
I felt very supported, and I don't feel alone in the program.
I just really feel like each individual in the program gets a relationship with the professors in a different way that's meaningful to them and is more geared to them.
I'm a grad student at Kalamazoo University. Yay! Okay.
The Knights have taken the field here at the Calvin University Soccer Stadium. Tim, talking about this Calvin quick start, one of the big stories has been Hunter Hogan. He is now the nation's second leading rusher, the junior from Ravenna. Couple games over 200 yards, the opener with over 100 yards. How has this sophomore become such a force offensively?
46 touches last week. It's unbelievable. I think for Hunter, what I see is this incredible versatility. He's got great vision. He presses the hole, but he's patient, and then when he sees that gap, he explodes. He's also an excellent pass catcher out of the backfield. They can run him on routes. He's a great check down option to get 5 or 6 if no one's open down the field. That versatility really separates him, and he's a big explosive playmaker.
This game is a rematch of last year's battle down in Kalamazoo, a thriller, 33-31. The Hornets prevailed in the final 15 seconds. This is a good Kalamazoo team. They come in 3-0 as well. So this is really not only a key MIAA matchup, but it's two unbeaten teams.
It is, and the Hornets are really led by Dawson Skupin. He's a great player. He's not only an efficient passer, completing almost 70% of his passes, but he's a great runner. Coach Fig talked about before the game, they design run plays for him. He also can escape the pocket. He's going to be someone that the Knights are going to have to contain well on the defensive side of the football.
Kalamazoo coming in at 3-0. They have victories over Bethany University, Austin College down in Texas, and last week they blanked Anderson 27-0. For the Calvin Knights, a win over Oberlin opened the season, an 88-6 victory. In week 2 right here, the first ever on-campus football game for Calvin. It was Calvin knocking off Concordia, Wisconsin 34-7. And last week, the stunner down in Heidelberg, the thrilling finish 40-37 in overtime over the Heidelberg Student Princesses. Jamie Zorbo is the head football coach at Kalamazoo. You've known him for a long time. He's a guy who's also the AD, been coaching here at Kalamazoo for 20 years. You sort of compared him to Pat Fitzgerald, sort of a lifer at K College. What does he bring to the sidelines?
Yeah, he's a Kalamazoo College legend. I had great interactions with Jamie when I was the head football coach at Gull Lake High School in Richland, Michigan. He always came in to recruit. I think what Jamie understands is the standard of Kalamazoo. It's a prestigious school, high academic standards. Not every student athlete can commit and compete and attain that level of academic success. And so he recruits high character, high academic kids, and they're smart. They know football, they know the game, they're disciplined, and he's put together a lot of success and really built the program into what it is there.
Tim, this is a football game at a reconfigured soccer stadium. First time you've seen it, obviously. What's your thoughts on the atmosphere here on this homecoming Saturday night?
It's incredible. I mean, we've fit bleachers into just about every nook and cranny we can. I see them in the end zone up against the locker room building. You know, the video board at midfield is unique and different for football. I really like that. And look at the turnout. I mean, just a great crowd, both sides. Even Kalamazoo brought a lot of fans up. It's homecoming. It's prime time. It just doesn't get much better, does it?
Sellout crowd here on Calvin's campus, ready to see if the Knights can make it 4 in a row in this 2025 campaign. Calvin, the coin toss has just been completed, and I believe Calvin won the toss and deferred, but we'll verify that in just a moment as we get set for tonight's kickoff.
And you know, Bob, as you kick off a night game like this, first on campus, it's homecoming, and there's a lot on the table. It's your first home conference game. Both teams are undefeated, but there's 0-0, 0-0 in the conference. You really want to get out to a fast start. Controlling emotion is everything. Starting strong, getting that first hit, getting that first down under your belt. Really important to start strong, start fast, and build that momentum in your favor.
Another story for Calvin this season, Tim, has been the play of quarterback Thomas Vaccaro, transfer from Samford in Division I. You've had a chance to watch him on film. Pretty impressive start for a guy who really hasn't played much football in the last 2 years.
He really is, and I think one thing that you notice is his poise. He's very poised in the pocket. He's great under pressure, and yet he's still developing with this core of receivers. You see every now and then an overthrown ball or some timing that's a little bit off. That's only going to improve and get cleaned up as the season goes and as he gets more and more comfortable with this receiving core.
Storm Team 8 weather forecast is absolutely perfect for football tonight. Temperatures right in the low 70s, into the 60s by the time we complete the football game. And we are ready to go. Hayden Slagers has it teed up for Calvin, and we are underway on this spectacular homecoming Saturday here at Calvin. Kick is taken by Luke Hannafin. Up the right numbers. He's got space and plows his way over the 30 to about the 36. Good return by Lucas Hannafin. Let's set that Garrett's Appliance starting lineup for the Kalamazoo Hornets offense. They'll go with the quarterback, Dawson Skupin, as Tim alluded to in the opening. Connor Bell, the senior out of Detroit Catholic Central, is at running back. Lucas Hannafin just returned that kick, is really their most dangerous weapon. He is a senior from Chelsea. The other wideouts are Aaron Zeckman from Bloomfield Hills, a 6'2 junior, and Braden Levis from Gibraltar Carlson. Dawson Skupin, the senior from South Lyon. On the first possession, he's actually their leading rusher. So as Tim mentioned, look for a lot of designed run plays. On 1st and 10, they give us to Connor Bell. He probes the right side, cuts back to the middle, and is dropped for a 3-yard gain there, as it was Schneerstein coming over to make the tackle.
Carson Schneerstein, leading tackler for the Knights, averaging almost 15 tackles a game. He plays downhill. He's got great instincts. Really a nice play there. Filling the B gap, sliding in by the defensive tackle, and wrapping him up.
Calvin with C.J. Sheets, Matt Zimmerich, Isaiah Hill across that front line. We'll get the rest of that Garrett's Appliance starting defensive lineup. Play fake, Skupin flushed out. He's rolling right, flips it out of bounds, incomplete. Good pressure there by C.J. Sheets, the transfer from Davenport, and big Matt Zimmerich, the 6'7", 290-pounder. Tim, when's the last time you saw a 6'7" nose guard?
6'7" on the inside. Usually it's a defensive end. He's a big body. He can fill 2 gaps, and that wingspan to bat down balls at the line of scrimmage, something we saw on tape quite a bit. He's really a good player for the Knights on the interior.
First third down of the game. Kalamazoo comes in converting 60% of their third downs. They'll have it 3rd and 8 at their own 37. Two wideouts to the left. Bell off the left hip of Dawson Skupin. Shotgun snap straight back to throw. Lofts it to a wide open tight end down the right sideline. He's got room inside the 25 down to the 20. Finally chased out of bounds by Jair Nolan. That's big Jaden Johnson who caught that football. He got loose on it. Appeared to be some broken coverage.
Yeah, this is a zone blitz. So they showed edge pressure from either side. They only brought pressure from the field. What has to happen on that backside is the backside corner has to midpoint those 2 vertical running receivers. He unfortunately stayed out with the wideout, didn't drop into coverage, and a really nice throw here by Dawson Skupin.
Jaden Johnson with just his 2nd catch of the season. He's lined up as the H-back to the left. Bell to the quarterback's left on 1st and 10 from the 13. Scooping straight back to throw. Swings it left flat to Connor Bell. Gets a nice block. Stretches out that play. Caden McCullough finally yanked him down at the 12 for a gain of 1 yard. By the way, Caden McCullough starting at inside linebacker today for Trevor Martins, their leading tackler from last year and the all-MIAA second team. He's out tonight and will not play.
One thing you notice in the early going is the tempo of Kalamazoo, getting to the line of scrimmage very quickly. 2nd and 9
from the 14. Quick tunnel screen to Hannafin. He's bottled up at the 14. Alex Minahan, along with Kai Hanog, there to create a blockade, no gain, 3rd down and 9 at the 14.
And you know, Kai Hanog was somebody that Trent talked to us about during the week. Really has improved a lot. He's running downhill. He's pursuing the football well. Trent's really pleased with his progress.
3 wideouts to the left.
A lot of blitz coming.
On 3rd down and 9 from the 14. Jair Nolan as Aaron Zeckman man coverage. Back to throw his scoop, and there's the fade route to Zeckman, right corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Excellent coverage by Jair Nolan on the fade route. It'll be 4th down.
He really played that well. When you're in man coverage, you don't want to look at the ball. You want to look at the man until the receiver shows his hands and eyes. Jair Nolan, the veteran senior at corner, does a great job reacting to the receiver, driving his hands through the catch, and breaking up the pass. Really a nice play in man coverage there. A lot of pressure early from the Knights. We've seen them blitz 3 times already.
Cameron Lewis on to attempt a field goal from the 20. That'll make it a 30-yarder. Out of the hole from Drew Fortino, and Brexit, Arvid Kirshner, the holder. Snap is good. Kick is on its way, and it is good. Kalamazoo is struck first on that 30-yard field goal by Cameron Lewis. When we return, the Knights will go on offense for the first time. This is the Calvin Sports Network on WXSP TV, Michigan Sports Radio, 96.1 The Game, presented by Denoyer Automotive Family tonight with a vision of providing guests the best automotive purchase and ownership experience ever.
Night Nation. Today's game is brought to you by Capital and Risk Management Services. Since 1987, they've partnered with our community to provide financial and risk solutions that keep your future secure. Whether you're planning ahead or protecting what matters most, they're here for you. Connect with Russ Clausing at 312-458-4523 to learn more. Capital and Risk Management Services. Strategic solutions. Pursuing a secure future.
Today's Calvin Injury Report brought to you by Coister Chiropractic lists Jackson Cook, McCoy Baxter, and Trevor Martins unable to play today due to injury. That's today's Calvin Injury Report brought to you by Coister Chiropractic with 2 locations in Grand Rapids and Wyoming. Dedicated to helping you achieve optimal health through safety, natural, safe, and effective chiropractic care. Kickoff bounds down to the 5-yard line, taken by Hudson Shoup. He angles from the numbers to the middle of the field and is upended at the 25. By Jermaine Calloway, and there it'll be 1st and 10. Calvin's offense brought to you by Garrett's Appliance, offering the latest lineup of the top appliance brands at very competitive prices. Garrett's Appliance with locations in Kentwood and Wyoming. Quarterback is Thomas Vaccaro. Hunter Hogan, the running back. Carter Bausmo will start at the tight end. Seth Anderson as a wide receiver, along with Jude Clunder, the slot back, and Luke Mishmerheisen, also a wide receiver. On 1st down, Hogan with a big hole over right tackle, slants his way for a 6-yard gain.
Really nice push on the interior. You've got a double team between the guard and the center, working up to the Mike backer. Really a nice block there by Michael Ligg at the center.
Stopped by Raymond Cargill, the Forest Hills Central grad. Vaccaro to throw on 2nd and 4. Tucks it and goes up the middle, and he is snowed under at the 38.
And that's an RPO concept. I don't know if you saw that there. Looking at a read key, and unfortunately he got a little bit fooled. The defensive end dropped out in the flat. He was looking for Mitch Merheisen, had to tuck it and run. A good decision not to force the ball into coverage, but now you're left with 3rd and 3.
Cameron Bates McCullough, the first to be in a minute. 3rd down and 3 from the 38. Vaccaro will run option left. Pitch to Hogan. He can't get to the edge, though, and is just walloped back at the 38 on a good tackle by Corey Garrison as well as Bryce Balabuck over there to sort of turn that play in. That was great defense by Kalamazoo.
When you run the speed option like this as the quarterback, your job is to get that defensive end to commit to you. Here, Vaccaro pitches the ball just a little too early. He doesn't force the commitment, dishes it too early. The defensive end could play both. Fell off and tackled the running back. And what a stick. Great attack at the point of contact by Kalamazoo.
On to boot it is Logan Knapp. Snap is low, but he gets away a beauty. Drives Lucas Hanfin back to the 25. Fair caught there, and that's where Kalamazoo will start 1st and 10. Fans, today's featured Calvin football student-athlete planning for success is sophomore Ben Ernstis, an offensive lineman. Ben is from Kalamazoo, and it is his 2nd year with the Calvin football team. He was a member of the Calvin men's track and field team last year as well. He's a Calvin Dean's List student as a nursing major. That's Planning for Success, presented by Skipper No Strength Wealth Management, providing the financial clarity, solutions, and service that allow you to focus on what you care about most. So Calvin goes 3 and out. Second possession for Kalamazoo. They started at their own 37 on the last drive, settled for a 30-yard Cameron Lewis field goal from their own 25. Ball at the right hash, 3 wideouts to the left for Dawson Scoop, and Connor Bell is the running back. Here's a quick slant, knocked away by Matthew Zimmerk. He got the big paws up. Zimmerk 6'7". Again, so best. Unusual to see a nose guy at 6'7".
What a weapon.
Really on the field is an incomplete pass.
Upfield pressure, get the guard or the center to have to turn their hips and then raise those hands vertically. Just a great job batting the ball down. One theme I'm seeing here, Bob, is this is a different personnel grouping. You've got 3 wideouts. Last possession, you had lots of tight ends in the game. Kalamazoo spreading it out more on the second series. 2nd and 10, Hannafin in motion. They'll give it to him on a jet sweep. Tries to get to the corner on the left side. He's turned in nicely at the 23. Going to be dumped for a yard loss. Getting tackled there by McCullough and Isaiah Hill. Really a nice job on the edge here. When you play cornerback, you are what's called ultimate contain. In other words, nothing can ever get outside your leverage. Great job here turning the jet sweep back into where the help is and making the play. Great pursuit by the Knights. 3rd down and 11 for Kalamazoo.
Knights show blitz. Here comes Kanag off the edge. Pass thrown left side, complete to Carson Moat. He angles back into the middle of the field. Be short of the first down, tackled at the 30 by Caden Bolduck. Caden Bolduck last week was named to the All-National D3 team for his outstanding performance Saturday night in Heidelberg, where he had 11 tackles, 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and a pass breakup. The Muskegon Reeds Puffer linebacker has been one of the stalwarts on this good defense thus far. Kalamazoo forced to punt. They'll kick to Caden Kolanowski, standing back as 35. Moat, who caught that pass, will boot it away. Bobbled the snap, gets the kick off and sort of pulls it out of bounds along the left sideline. They'll mark it at the right in midfield. So great field position for Calvin on their 2nd possession.
And this is a critical opportunity to flip the field and really get that momentum on your side, get into get into Kalamazoo territory, and a great opportunity to start strong.
Today we'll be watching for our Defensive Player of the Game, brought to you by Straight Line Fence. Today's Defensive Player of the Game, brought to you by Straight Line Fence, transforming properties across Michigan. Committed to care and craftsmanship, Straight Line Fence has earned a reputation as Michigan's most trusted fence installer. Out of the pistol, 1st and 10. They give us to Nick Earls, the Greenville sophomore, plows off the right side. Cut down right at the line of scrimmage. May have fell forward for 2. It was Leonard Humphreys who was there to cut him down. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
Calvin looking to establish the run early. There's been a tight end in almost every package that they've had so far, really trying to win the line of scrimmage.
Hogan coming off a 233-yard game in the last one, split to the right. Now the pass is to Earls, who snuck out of the backfield. He's hit immediately along the right sideline by Jaden Bowles-Swain. 3rd down and long for Calvin.
Boy, what a pursuit angle, too. But Bowles-Swain was someone that stood out to me on tape. He's a senior. He's a veteran player. Great downhill pursuit, and he stuck him right at the point of contact. Great tackle.
3rd and 7 from the Kalamazoo 47. Empty backfield for Thomas Vaccaro. Back to throw, has time. Doesn't complete to Klunder at the Kalamazoo 42. Hit immediately there by Ben Maurice. 4th and 2, Tim, and it looks like Trent Figg's going to keep the offense on the field.
You took the words out of my mouth. I'm not surprised at all. If I was in this position, homecoming, down 3 early on, momentum play, I would absolutely go for it. I like the call.
Actually 4th and 3 from the 43. Earls to the right. Vaccaro fakes to him. Now Vaccaro rolls to the right, dumps it complete to Baalsma at the 37. He's got a first down, trudges inside the 35 to the 30. Cut down there by Maurice again, but a nice read by Thomas Vaccaro.
This is an incredible job of patience by Thomas Vaccaro. It's a flood pattern. He pumps it. Great job.
High tempo, quick tempo offense here now for Calvin. Nick Earls, the ball carrier on 1st and 10. Plunges over the right guard. Corey Garrison stopped them there, but 5 more. And
you got to be impressed early with the poise of Vaccaro. He's under pressure. He pump fakes. He buys time. Knows he's going to take a hit. Takes the hit and delivers an accurate ball. Really nice job there on that first down play.
Earls is developed as the number 2 back. He's got it again. No, a fake. Vaccaro keeps it on the read option. Goes around the left end as a first down to the 15-yard line. Maurice there to upend him. Calvin on the move in the red zone at the 16, 1st and 10.
You can see the advantage of tempo here. Kalamazoo, I have yet to see a substitution on the defensive line. These guys have hands on their hips. They're wearing down. I love the tempo by Coach Powers in the offense.
From the 16, it's Earls again. Picks his way along the right side, and he'll find room for 6 more down to the 10-yard line.
It's clear right now, if you watch Ben Dixon's game plan as an offensive play caller, he's got his 10 and 11 personnel in the game, meaning he wants to spread out, but then he's trying to run the ball and get players out of the box.
2nd and 4, quick tunnel screen complete to Klunder along the right sideline. Tight ropes the boundary, has a first down at the 7. Bowles, Swain ushered him out of bounds, and there's an injured Hornet on the far sideline.
So as you look at Coach Dixon's game plan here, he's playing with the numbers in the box. And so in that particular play, Kalamazoo had 1 more player in the box than the Knights did. And so quick pickup, throw the bubble screen, get on the perimeter. Previous plays, they've walked out over slot receivers, hand the ball off. So he's really doing a good job playing with those alley players on the edge of the box, and the offensive line's moving the football.
Key player to watch in our Garrett's Appliance starting lineup for Kalamazoo's defense is Raymond Cargill, number 33. Forest Hills Central grad leads them in tackles this year with 23, 7 last week in the win over Anderson. We talked to him a little bit about this defense for Kalamazoo. They've been stingy. Again, only 4 red zone appearances by their opponents in the first 3 games, giving up just 22% on 3rd down conversions. It is really the guts of this team at this point early in the season.
I'm impressed. I mean, so far what we've seen, they fly around. Their safeties really fill the alley well and come downhill, and they're making great contact. Just a physical bunch. I think one thing I'm watching is I haven't seen much substitution on the defensive line. You know, that group could wear down quickly, especially with this tempo, and it seems like Ben Dixon is dialed into that. They are playing very fast, getting up to the line of scrimmage. This is a critical 3rd and 2 to punch it in for the Knights.
Brandon Speed, the injured Hornet, comes off the field. He's replaced by Jeff Hudson at that right corner. 3rd and 1. The give is to Hogan. Tries to bounce it right, can't do it now, reverses his field and is dropped for a loss on a really good defensive play by Jack Duggins, the 6'4", 225-pounder from Spring Lake. And that's been one of the staples for Hunter's success this year, Tim. He changes field a lot, and if you contain, you're going to get him.
That's right. Nolan Janiga, the nose tackle, number 96, he doesn't make the tackle, but he does make the play, and what I mean by that is he did a great job, stood up his man, played both gaps. Hogan had nowhere to go, and then the pursuit got there. It's a nice job by the Kalamazoo defense.
With 5:30 to go, on to attempt a field goal is Logan Knapp from 26 yards, and it's good, and we are tied. Calvin has responded after the Kalamazoo field goal. They deadlocked the score at 3, 5:26 to go. You're catching the Calvin Sports Network on WXSP TV, Michigan Sports Radio 96.1 The Game, presented tonight by the Denoyer Automotive family, your greater Kalamazoo, Toyota, Chevrolet, Ford, and Jaguar dealerships.
At Garrett's Appliance, it's all about family, service, and excellence, just like Calvin. As a longtime local business, Garrett's knows the value of doing things the right way. For your home and your future. Thank you to Garrett's Appliance for supporting our student athletes and helping West Michigan thrive.
During today's game, we are watching for the Visser Brothers Teamwork of the Game, a key play where Calvin has planned, managed, and executed correctly. That's the Visser Brothers Teamwork of the Game, presented by Visser Brothers General Contractors, where a team of dedicated project professionals knows how to maintain your construction process on schedule and on budget. Kickoff from Hayden Slagers, drives Lucas Hannafin back to his 5. He'll take it right up the hash. Another big hole. Look out. He's at the 35, outside to the 40. Cuts it back inside of midfield. Still on his feet. Down the left sideline. Lucas Hannafin finally dropped at the 22 of Calvin after a 70-yard kickoff return. It was Hanog, or Caleb Dabowski, I think, that tracked him down. Boy, Hannafin just patiently weaved his way through the field, Tim, with a great kickoff return.
You know, the 6'1", 180 senior was the one guy that Trent mentioned this week over and over. He said he's their best player, hands down. And boy, what a return. Just the patience, then the explosion, and just weaving, using his blockers. Very, very impressive. And he's one of their key playmakers that the Knights have to pay attention to. Coach Fig said they'll bracket him a little bit on defense, double him, and try to keep him out of the game plan.
His only touch so far from scrimmage has been a bubble screen, but he's returned 2 kicks for big yardage here in the first quarter. Kalamazoo knocking on the door on 1st and 10 with 5:14 to go in the first quarter of this tie game. Dawson Skupin with good protection, drops straight back to pass. Guns at left sideline to Hannafin. He's bumped out of bounds immediately by Hanog. Gain of 5, call it 4, 2nd down and 6.
One thing that the Hornets are doing early on is playing with formations. There they had trips, but it was into the boundary, trying to see if they can get a one-on-one matchup to the field. Now Hannafin is to the field in the slot, definitely moving him around to try to hide him from the defense.
Landon Russell, the running back, now replacing Connor Bell. He's to Skupin's right hip in motion. Is Coates. The give is to Russell. Dances running to his left. Runs into traffic right at the 20. First to meet him was McCullough. Again in the lineup tonight for the injured Trevor Martins. 3rd down and 5 for Kalamazoo.
I got to tell you, Bob, I'm really impressed with Matthew Zimrick. He's always around the football. He's up the field, getting gap penetration. There again, disrupting the play. A critical 3rd and 6 here.
McCullough on the left side. Minahan, Nolan the corners. On 3rd and 6, back to pass is Skupin. He's being chased, flushed out to his left. Throws it deep toward the end zone and is knocked away on a beautiful defensive play by the freshman Reed Vogler from Caledonia.
Really a nice play by Vogler. This was a vulnerable play. A great job by the senior Dawson Skupin. He used his running back well, stepped up in the pocket, flooded left, saw he had man-to-man coverage. It's just a 50-50 ball. Put it up and let your guy make a play. Really a nice play by Vogler. He high-pointed the ball, couldn't make the catch, tipped it away, saved a touchdown.
Vogler, one of the few freshmen to be in the 2 deeps this year for Trent Fig, and the freshman from Caledonia has been really impressive here as a starting strong safety. Cameron Lewis on to attempt a 38-yard field goal. The kick is blocked. It is blocked by Jair Nolan, high into the air, grabbed at the 11 by the Knights. Vogler's got it. He's slung down at the 11-yard line by Zach Sykes. But how about Jair Nolan, Tim? That's his 2nd block of the 2025 campaign.
He does what's called a shoulder duck. So as he comes off the edge, he ducks that inside shoulder, stays tight to the wingman, and stretched out. Just a hustle play, heart and guts, and really a big momentum changer if this penalty allows the play to stand.
Flags dropped right at the 20, which is the line of scrimmage.
Was he offsides? I'm not sure.
Let's wait for the official's call.
During the return, personal foul, return team, number 36. It's half the distance to the goal. It'd be 1st down, Calvin.
Get C.J. Sheets for that infraction and move the Knights back to the 10-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for Calvin. 3:49 to go in this exciting first quarter and fast-moving first quarter. A couple of field goals, but there, Calvin's defense for the 2nd time this season blocks a field goal attempt here on their home turf.
Momentum changing play when you block a kick. Let's see what they can do with it.
Hogan off the right hip of Vaccaro. On 1st and 10, he has the handoff from Vaccaro running to his right. Cargill slams him to the ground at the 15, a gain of 5 yards. 2nd down and 5.
This is a zone play, and what happens is Hunter Hogan presses the front side. He sees the alley and he cuts it back, which is a frequent thing. Nice push in the middle by the Knights.
From the 15, 2nd and 5, 2 receivers out to the right. Play fake to Hogan. Vaccaro Drills it right sideline, complete to Mishmerheisen just beyond the sticks at the 21. That's a first down.
Really a nice job there by Vaccaro. He came off his primary read. They were looking for 0 up the middle, up the seam. We got a penalty flag down, but he came off his first read, came back to Mishmerheisen. Great ball all the way to the sideline. That's a tough throw.
Calvin, looks like they're moving backwards, and this is going to nullify that first down toss to Luke Mishmerheisen. This game last year was a flag fest. 19 penalties on the Knights, 13 on the Hornets.
Holding. Offense. Number 72. 10 yards. Second down.
Will nullify that first down. 19 penalties on Calvin, 13 on Kalamazoo. Calvin had 13 in the first half. Somehow, the Knights, despite that, and 3 interceptions
that penalty is half the distance to the goal.
Were in the game till the very end, lost 33-31.
It's so important in these big games, especially at home. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of adrenaline. It's a great environment. Got to get that under control quickly, though, and clean it up and play well.
Second down and 12 from their own 8. Vaccaro standing back at his 4 in the shotgun. Gives to Hogan. He's running to his left. Tries to get to the outside. Nice block from Seth Anderson. But there to make the stop is Alex Pepin, the senior from Granville. Drops Hogan at the 12. Gain of 4. Third down and 8.
Dylan Gackey, the defensive end, number 57, does a nice job here. Again, he doesn't make the play, but he gets great upfield penetration, sheds a block, and forces Hogan to bounce, and he had pursuit help there.
Third and 8 from the 12. Vaccaro takes the shotgun snap, throws it over the middle. It's blocked, knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Nolan Janiga. This is the second time we've mentioned him. This is a formidable front 3, Tim. They've got Balabuk from Lowell, a senior. Gackey's a senior. Janiga's a junior from Lowell. It's a good front 3.
I think the Hornets look better in person than I thought they did on film. They're really getting nice penetration up front. They're stout in their gaps, and they're getting pressure, getting hands up. And then that secondary I'm very impressed with. They're downhill attacking. Lots of physical tackles at the line of scrimmage from safeties. It's a good group. See if Kalamazoo comes after the punt. You're back in your own end. They're showing some pressure.
Little activity on the right side of that defensive line. Drake Irwin on to kick, drives Hannafin back to the 42. He breaks a tackle midfield, rolling down the numbers on the right side, and he'll finally be gang tackled at the 36. First to hit him was Sam Gallo, and boy, Hannafin's been dangerous on the return game.
He really has. You know, it'll be interesting to see if they continue to kick it to him or not. I mean, he's making some great plays, finding an alley. You can tell he's a senior. He's just got that swagger, that patience, that maturity. He's not in a hurry. He's going to use the first block, make the first tackler miss. Really an impressive young man. You can see now he's in the 3rd different position we've seen. So he's in the middle of the trips. Before, he was on the far side by himself. Then he was in the slot. They're moving him all over to hide him from the Calvin defense, not allowing them to double team. And he's got one-on-one coverage right now.
1st and 10 at the Knights 36. Play fake. Scoop it, guns it over the middle, complete at the 29-yard line to Jaden Johnson. Reed Vogler steps up to make the tackle. It's a gain of 7 yards.
Caden McCullough got a hit on the QB there. One thing that Trent told us this week is he said, even though Trevor Martins isn't starting, Caden is probably a little bit better blitzer. He's really good at snaking through the gap, and he did it right there.
On 2nd and 4, they swing it out left side on a tunnel screen to Hannafin. He broke a tackle from Minahan behind the line, muscles his way for a first down to the 23 before he was finally dropped by Vogler again.
One thing you see from Hannafin, he's averaging 17.2 yards a catch on the season. You can see why. Yards after contact. He doesn't give up easily. He's really a hard guy to bring down. Very impressive.
1st and 10 from the 25. Here's a quarterback draw, scooping with room up the middle. Cut down at the 17 on a good form tackle by Minahan, saved a touchdown. That was what we talked about at the outset, Tim, where Kalamazoo is going to design running plays for their 6'4", 210-pound quarterback.
You called it right, Bob. This is actually what's called a lead draw. So he hesitates for a second. The running back becomes like a fullback blocking for the quarterback.
Play fake to Bell. Here comes the rush, and down he goes. Scooping, dropped by Caden Bolduc off the right side, back at the 30, back at the 27-yard line. Big sack from Caden Bolduc.
Yeah, this is, so if you look at the 2 deep, this is a backup left tackle in the game right now, Max Berg, number 74, and really just a mental error. He didn't fan out to the blitzing backer. He could have picked that up, and really a nice blindside hit there on the blitz. Caden Bolduc with the pressure.
62 seconds to go here in the first quarter. 3rd down and 11 for Kalamazoo at the Calvin 25.
Showing pressure again, Bob.
Hannafin, Johnson, and Zekman wide to the right.
could be a bluff, but the Knights showing what's called cover zero, meaning there's no safety. Now they're going to back out of it.
Scooping straight back to pass. Here comes the rush. C.J. Sheets with the sack back at the 32. Isaiah Hill was there as well, but it was the Davenport transfer, C.J. Sheets, that gets to him first, and they take him out of field goal range.
And we talked about this week, Bob, in our preparation, Isaiah Hill and C.J. Sheets, two very good rush ends. In this case, what they do is they show blitz in the interior. The offensive line steps down to cover their inside gap. They back out of it. They don't actually bring the blitz, and Sheets is able to get his outside arm free and get a sack. Really nice design by the Calvin defense.
15 seconds to go here in the quarter. 4th down and 18 for Kalamazoo. They will go for it at the Calvin 32, sort of no man's land for a field goal. Scoopin's going to let the clock run out, and we'll have this big 4th down play when we come back. We have played 1 quarter, and it's at Andy. Calvin 3, Kalamazoo 3. This is the Calvin Sports Network on WXSP TV. Michigan Sports Radio 96 Win the Game, broadcast tonight by Denier Automotive Family, with a vision of providing guests the best automotive purchase and ownership experience ever.
The mission statement of our program is building champions for life. And I truly mean that when I say that. To me, there's 2 types of programs. There's transactional and there's transformational. And we are building a transformational football program here because we want our young men to leave prepared for the rest of their lives. And so when we talk about being champions, we talk about 4 different areas: in the classroom, in the community, on the field, and then champions of our faith. And all 4 pieces are so important to what we're doing.
Tonight we're watching for the Bauman and DeGroot player of the game. It will be selected by Tim Hiller, the post-game show. It's presented by Bauman and DeGroot, where only the best heating and cooling systems are recommended for you, with no upselling and no pushy sales tactics. Sophie Bull, the Calvin National Champion in the steel case, honored there between quarters. Around the MIAA today, brought to you by NAI Wasinski of West Michigan. West Michigan's largest independently owned commercial real estate firm. Big news out of Holland. Alma in overtime knocked off Hope 29-26. And over at Olivet, Adrian all over Olivet 59-27. Tryon and Albion underway down on I-94. 4th down and 18 to start this 4th quarter. Dawson Scoopin sends 2 to the right against a 4-man rush, and now he'll quick kick and just flutter it down to the 10-yard line, where Carson Moat downs it, and that pins Calvin back for a field position move, really, there by Jamie Zorbo.
Absolutely. It's a smart play, though. Anytime, I saw an interesting stat, anytime you can flip the field, Bob, whatever yard line you're on, that almost indicates your likelihood of scoring or not scoring. So in this particular example, ball's in the 8-yard line, 8% chance you score. If you have the ball in the 50-yard line, 50% chance you score. And so this is really a strategic decision. His defense is playing very well. He has a chance to get his offense back with good starting field position next series.
Vaccaro, 1st and 10, play fake to Hogan, now guns it right sideline, complete to Dubowski. He's sprinting down the right sideline, right past the linebackers and secondary, all the way to the Calvin 47. Ben Maurice chased him down, but how about the block on that one?
Yeah, and what you see here is, again, that numbers game in the box. There was one more player. It's called a +1 scheme. One more player in the box for Kalamazoo than the Knights had. They had 7. The Knights only had 6 in the box. They throw it outside, get on the edge, and great blocking on the perimeter.
You saw on the replay, Luke Mishmer-Heisman really delivered the key block. On 1st and 10 from the 45, their own 45, Hogan picks his way off the left guard and picked up about 4.
Mishmer-Heisman, obviously a star player for the Knights, but he only has 1 touch so far tonight, but getting it done as a blocker, that's a leader right there.
Nolan Janica retreated to make that last tackle on Hogan. 2nd down and 6 at their own 49 for Calvin, just underway in the 2nd quarter. Brought to you tonight by Skipper No Strength Wealth Management, partnering with you to help unlock your financial potential and build your legacy. Vaccaro back to throw, looks right now, throws deep down the right sideline to Mishmer-Heisman. He's got him at the 20, and he is tackled out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Luke Mishmer-Heisman with a little quick move, and he beats Jeff Hudson down the right sideline for a big 50-yard gain.
This is the power of manipulating your formation. They went tight end to the field, got him in quarter coverage. That safety on that side has to cover the tight end. He was all the way in the box. Leaves you with one-on-one coverage. 6'7" Luke Mishmer-Heisman on anybody. I'll take that matchup. Hitch and go.
On 1st and goal from the 5, the handoff is to Hogan. He is trapped behind the line by Balabook, the Lowell senior with a good defensive play to contain Hogan. Actually lost a couple there, so it'll be 2nd and goal at the 5.
And what an impressive route that was. He gave a head fake, he sold the hitch, then took off. Just a great job by Mitch Merheisen and a good ball.
On 2nd down and goal, here's Mitch Merheisen on the fade route, right corner of the end zone, but he caught it out of bounds. Jeff Hudson. And right there, you're seeing what Trent Figg wants to do and Ben Dixon want to do. Jeff Hudson, the corner replacing speed, is 5'9". He gives up 10 inches, yes. Tim, and that Absolutely. Is a matchup nightmare.
So when you throw the ball up to a receiver, we like to call that a 50-50 ball, but if you have Luke Mitchmerheisen, it's more like a 70-30 ball. He's 6'7", that's his ball to take. He made a great catch, just his foot came down out of bounds.
3rd and 5, tight formation now with Mitchmerheisen lined up almost as a tight end. Vaccaro will play fake, roll to his left, throw it underneath, he's got a man, touchdown! Calvin Knights! It is Carter Bylsma sneaking out from that H-back spot. Vaccaro looked deep in the end zone. Bylsma underneath, and Calvin takes the lead.
Yeah, and this is, you called it right, Bob. He said sneak out. That's called a slip route. So he comes backside like he's going to block the defensive end, then he slips him. And he slips right under out into the flat. That defensive end approaches to take on the block. He gets slipped. He misses the coverage. Great job slipping out by Bylsma. Great catch, good throw. Really a nice drive. Was at 92 yards down the field. That's a big, big momentum shift for the Knights.
Set up by the big Dabowski tunnel screen down the right sideline, and then Absolutely. The deep ball to Mitchmerheisen. Logan Knapp on for the extra point out of the Tate Dome hole. It is true, and with 13:09 to go, the Knights lead at 10-3. When we come back, that Calvin defense back on the field on the Calvin Sports Network.
I love working downtown Grand Rapids, being able to go to class and then come here and do work where the theory that I learned in the classroom really did apply.
I think the Calvin interns, they have this well-balanced background, right? I also think that Calvin does a really nice job preparing them in communication.
I think the Calvin Network is phenomenal, and that is a huge help of making me feel comfortable knowing that my education is preparing me super well for the rest of my life. So knowing that I can see people being successful in their lives who went through the same educational system as me is very encouraging.
This month in Calvin Athletics history, presented by Applied Innovation, highlights the 1980 Calvin men's soccer team. Led by head coach Marv Zeidema, the 1980 team earned the first NCAA Division III tournament bid in program history. Defeated DePaul and Ohio Wesleyan in tournament play, advancing all the way to the national quarterfinals, finishing the year 13-5-1. That's this month in Calvin Athletics history, presented by Applied Innovation, connecting Calvin alums for 35 years. Hayden Slagers will kick it off after that Vaccaro touchdown pass to Carter Bylsma. High, short, end-over-end kick, and that's going to check up. Boy, that was almost a beautiful, almost like a pooch kick, but instead he hit the boundary. It's out of bounds, and that's a penalty to the 35. So again, good starting position for that Kalamazoo offense.
You don't love the penalty, but what I like is history's not going to repeat itself. Lucas Hannafin's not going to gash you. Even if you give him some starting field position, it's better than the alternative. And Bob, I want to recap and go back to that last drive.
Kicking team number 2.
Mitchmerheisen making his impact felt. The block on the edge, the little bubble screen, simple play. He locks on his man, frees him up. That was really the tide-turning play. Then the hitch and go, just the patience to show the hitch, take off deep, great catch. What a play, what leadership by a veteran receiver in Luke Mitchmerheisen.
Good to see Carter Bylsma as well score a touchdown. He's only caught 3 passes this year after a pretty good year last year that saw him catch 23 balls throughout the season. On 1st and 10, Connor Bell back into the game at running back. He'll try to get to the right edge. They set it well, turn him in for a 2-yard loss. Bolduc again, who had that big sack on the last series, set the edge.
And CJ Sheets, he's there again. He did a good job keeping his outside arm free. He fought to get outside leverage, turned the play in, and the pursuit was there. Nice play.
From the 34 on 2nd and 11, scooping a roll to his left. Find Carson Moat at the 38, still on his feet down the sideline. Finally pushed out of bounds by Bolduc at the 47 of Calvin. Good work by big Carson Moat. 6'5", 205 pounds, a junior from Muskegon.
Look at Trent Figg's anger right now. This is a simple play. You've got to wrap up. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 Knights missed the tackle. Just a great effort by the receiver, Moat, busting through there. And really a nice throw going to your left as well by scooping the quarterback.
From the Calvin 48, 1st and 10 for Dawson Scoopin. Back to pass.
Tight end screen.
Throws it to Jaden Johnson, who rumbles his way inside the 40 down to the 37. Finally tracked down by Alex Minahan, but all of a sudden Kalamazoo's got it going here after that Calvin touchdown.
This is a nice call. It's an interior screen, so your guard, center, and guard release downfield, allow the rush to come. The tight end slips behind them with a little wall. Really a nice play call by Jamie Zorbo.
1st and 10 from the 37, 3 wideouts to the right. Reed run pass option. He's got a man open again over the middle.
Wow.
That's another first down at the 22. That is Hannafin inside the 22, finally wrestled to the ground by Vogler.
How about the patience of scooping there? He rode that thing 1, 2, 3 seconds and then pulled the ball out at the last minute. A perfectly executed RPO there and a great throw to who else? Lucas Hannafin.
1st and 10 at the Calvin 21. 3 receivers to the right. Scooping, quick in route, slant complete to Hannafin at the 17, hit immediately.
At this rate, he might have 15 catches tonight. I mean, just catching the ball over the middle, vertically up the field. What I see in the play calling of Jamie Zorbo is they're continuously moving him around. He's been in the slot, he's been on the outside. Right now, he's the 3rd receiver, kind of in the hip position next to the tight end, trying to hide him and disguise what they're going to do with him. It's really impressive.
Gained 4 on that play, 2nd and 6 from the 18-yard line. They flood the right side of the field for Scoopin. He'll throw a tunnel screen to Hannafin. He's got it at the 20, dances his way towards the first down marker.
Just the
very
effort.
Close at about the 11-yard line.
One of the things you have to be impressed with Kalamazoo's receivers is their yards after catch, or YAC. They're taking that first contact. The feet keep moving. They keep churning, putting the shoulder down. We've seen it from Moat. We've seen it from Josh Anderson. We've seen it from Lucas Hannafin. This is a tough group. They play hard. They play to the whistle.
Hannafin already with 5 catches for 28 yards, scooping 12 of 16 through the air. 1st and goal to go at the 10-yard line. Kalamazoo trying to knot this score.
Cover 0 pressure again.
Read option to give us to Bell, running to his right, and he will romp into the end zone for a touchdown. Great blocking by the right side of that offensive line. The right tackle, Alex Winter from Lowell, Travis Shemwell, their best offensive line from Chelsea. And boy, Tim, they opened up a gaping hole for Connor Bell.
You took the words out of my mouth.
End zone.
Yes, Travis Shemwell got up to the 2nd level quickly. When you bring cover 0 pressure, cover 0 means 0 safeties. They brought the house. There's no help. And if you get through that to the 2nd level, there's no one there to stop that. Really a nice job by the right side of the Hornet line, and an answered touchdown for Kalamazoo.
Cameron Lewis on for the extra point. Snap and spot operation is good, and we are tied with 10-10 to go. It's fitting. It's 10s, all 10s on the board on the Calvin Sports Network. Presented tonight by Denoyer Automotive Family, with a vision of providing guests the best automotive purchase and ownership experience ever.
Whether it's a first savings account or a mortgage down the road, Lake Michigan Credit Union is there every step of the way. As a proud sponsor of Calvin Athletics, LMCU is investing in what matters: student success, strong communities, and a bright future for all. Thank you, LMCU, for helping our student athletes and our neighbors dream big and bank smart.
Time now for Know Your Nights, presented by Family Fare, with locations near you, including near Pawpaw, not too far from the Lawton, Michigan hometown of Calvin punter and kicker Logan Knapp. Logan currently ranks 4th in the MIAA in punting stats at 38 yards a kick. That's Know Your Nights, presented by Family Fare. We continue our Kalamazoo connection on this Saturday night homecoming matchup against the team down the road in US 131. A good rivalry in the making here. Kickoff comes to Hudson Shoup. He'll run it right up the middle, and his gang tackled at the 24. Dykes was first to meet him there. Zach Sykes, along with Callaway, and Calvin will start 1st and 10 after that touchdown drive, that Paris Motors touchdown drive. Let's recap the Calvin one just moments ago. They moved 6 plays, 92 yards in 1:46. The touchdown pass to Carter Bausma, making it 10-3. But Kalamazoo has answered with a drive of their own of 65 yards. Scoring drive summary presented by Paris Motors. Find your next drive at Paris Motors, a fantastic selection of used cars to meet your specs and budget right here in Grand Rapids. Thomas Vaccaro back to work. Connor play to Hunter Hogan, starts left, now reverses his field back to the right and runs into traffic at the 28-yard line. Bottom of that pile for the Hornets is Bryce Balabook.
They've really bottled up Hogan well so far. Good job being patient there by Hunter, but just nowhere to go. Nice job of pursuing by the Hornets.
Back to throw Vaccaro. He'll flip it to Hogan at the 30. Gets outside the 35. Still on his feet at the 40. First down. Again, good read. And I got to go back to the touchdown pass for Calvin, Tim. That was actually delivered by Drake Irwin.
That's right, short yardage package.
On the short yardage package. We've been giving Thomas Vaccaro the credit for that, but it was actually Drake Irwin who threw that TD pass. 1st and 10 from their own 40. Calvin hands off to Hogan, plows his way over the left side.
Drake Irwin, a young kid that got some reps last year as a freshman. He's a bigger body, had some short yardage packages. Local kid, hard worker. He is the backup, but it's nice to see him getting in there having a package. Now look at this, 5 wide, and you've got Hunter Hogan in the slot as a wideout.
3-man rush. Vaccaro will roll to his right. Goes to the safety valve. Mishmerheisen along the right sideline, complete at the 47. Spun out of bounds right there by Brandon Speed. Good to see him back in the game. Flag, though, thrown at the line of scrimmage.
One thing you like to see with, we got it looks like a lineman and an ineligible receiver downfield. Anytime you sprint out, those linemen, even if they're not getting a rusher in their lap, they've got to stay in that tackle box. They can't go downfield. This penalty is going to be on Calvin. One thing I'm seeing, though, is I like the patience of Thomas Vaccaro. He's rolling out there. His primary read is down the
player
field.
Downfield. Offense, number 62. 5 yards. Repeat second down.
Primary option is down the field. It's not there. He doesn't force it. He doesn't press. Hits the safety valve in Mishmerheisen, and an efficient play. Calvin, I don't know how many penalties we have quite yet, Bob, but a few here. A lot of holding on the interior. This is a good defensive front from the Hornets, and they're definitely getting penetration upfield.
3rd penalty now totaling 28 yards for the Knights. 2nd down and 13 at their own 37. Vaccaro gives to Hogan, spins out of a tackle at the line of scrimmage, tries to get to the edge. They'll lose another tackler at the 40. That was Bowles, and finally dropped at the 44 by Brandon Speed. Hunter Hogan elusive there, but still can't break free like he has the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was a nice job in the interior. Again, Dylan Gackey, he made an ankle tackle dive. He missed the tackle, but he disrupted the flow of the play, made it bounce, and the pursuit got there. Hogan's been pretty bottled up in the run game so far.
3rd and 7 from the 43. Vaccaro back to pass, has time, flips it to Hogan at the 45. Garrison with a great tackle right upon the reception, and no gain for Hunter Hogan. Corey Garrison, boy, if he had been able to, he being Hogan, had been able to slip that tackle, he had real estate ahead. But give Garrison credit. The Kalamazoo senior linebacker from West Bloomfield, a school that's turned out so many great high school players in the last decade, shows another one there in Corey Garrison.
No doubt. This is a sure tackling group. You can tell they're well coached, they're veterans, they're fundamentals. None of them really stand out to you size or stature-wise, Bob, but this Kalamazoo crew, man, they run to the football, they tackle well. Very impressive in the box.
Logan Knapp on to punt. He'll kick it from his own 30. Wobbly ball that'll bounce at the 22. Take a nice Calvin roll all the way down inside the 10. Down to the 5. And I think what happened there, I think the soccer lines confused the punt coverage a little bit. And that ball probably could have trickled inside the 5, Tim. But instead, Calvin downs it at the 8. And nonetheless, a good punt and field position backed up for the Hornets.
We kind of chuckled. I think you're absolutely correct. But nonetheless, anytime you can pin them inside the 10, it's a huge change in field position. And both defenses have done, and special teams have done a good job of flipping the field, pinning deep, and giving their defenses a chance to start with an advantage based on field position.
10-10, halfway through the 2nd quarter. Kalamazoo goes to work on the offensive end here from their own 8. Dawson Scoop and delayed handoff to Connor Bell. Running to his left, he's crunched there by Jair Nolan with good run support, along with Isaiah Hill and Charlie Garbowski, who's now into the game at the linebacker spot. Picked up 3, 2nd down and 7.
I'm seeing more tight end usage than I expected from Kalamazoo. When you watch film, they were spreading people out a little more. They've had 2 tight ends in the formation on multiple series, and here again to run the football.
Read option, the give is to Majorana, Kyler Majorana into the game now. Slashes his way up the middle for 4. Isaiah Hill over to make that stop. Big 3rd and 3 coming up at the 17-yard line for Kalamazoo as Calvin tries to get off the field. Hannafin split wide to the left, draws what appears man coverage from Jair Nolan.
Another blitz look from the Knights. We'll see if they bail or stick with it. Looks like cover 0.
Knights with a lot of players in the box. Quick slant route too far. Good coverage by Alex Minahan on Aaron Zekman at the 25-yard line. And it'll be 4th down and punt time for Kalamazoo.
It's really great coverage by Minahan. Anytime you're man-to-man on an island like that, you want to play inside leverage, take away the slant. Kalamazoo tried to run a slant, and he was all over it right there. Great job by getting that inside leverage, taking away what the Hornets wanted to do in that short yardage situation.
Game sort of settled into a bit of a slugfest.
Really has.
The defenses have really been tough, and 2 good drives by each team resulting in a touchdown as well as a field goal. Here's the punt taken by Caden Kolanowski at his own 47. Angles to the right sideline. Thrown out of bounds at the 23 by Zach Sykes. And Calvin will get good field position at the 43-yard line of Kalamazoo. Calvin's next home football game is Saturday, October 18th when Adrian comes to town. Whether or not you have a ticket, come to the stadium and enjoy Fan Fest, an interactive event beginning at 11 a.m. with music, pregame talk from Coach Fig. All sponsored by Playa Bowls, Chick-fil-A, Spartan Stores, and Fast Signs. Tim and I were there before the game tonight. Great time with the tailgating fans here at the outset of this one. On 1st and 10, a bubble screen to Mishmerheisen. He catches it at the line of scrimmage and fights his way inside the 40 to the 38. Cargill and Speed over to dump him there. Gain of 4 on that first down play.
The clock is now becoming a factor. We got 5:49 and rolling. Obviously the Knights play fast, but you don't want to give the ball back too quickly. So this comes a point where you may slow that tempo down a little bit and try to use some clock.
Play fake to Hogan. They swing it out to Caleb Dubowski. That's the same play that ran for 42 yards earlier in the quarter. This time Cargill and Bowles Swain over to knock him out of bounds at the 34. Picked up 4, so it's 3rd down and 1 at the 34-yard line.
This is an RPO, a run-pass option. If there are too many in the box, you throw the bubble. In that case, a good read by Vaccaro and throws it out on the perimeter.
Heavy set to the right. The give is to Hogan, who plunges ahead off left guard for a first down to the 32. At the bottom of that pile was Nolan Janiga, but not before Hunter Hogan picks up the first down. Knights on the move here at the 32-yard line. 5 minutes to go in the second quarter, all knotted at 10. Hard count by Thomas Vaccaro.
Going to change the play here, get the look, see what the Hornets are going to do, get them to bluff, and then call another play.
Dubowski slot right. Trent Figg calls him one of the fastest players on the team. Here's Hogan on an inside handoff. Dances his way up the middle to the second level, down to the 25-yard line. Cargill again on the stop, along with Dylan Gackey, who had retreated.
Just a simple base play. By base, we mean it's essentially man-on-man blocking with one double team between the center and the guard. The patience of Hunter Hogan, so impressive. He waited, then exploded. A really nice 8-yard run.
Same play, 2nd and 4. Here's Hogan. He's got it again. He'll bounce it to the outside. Dubowski tried to put a block on the corner. Nice job by the corner to disrupt that block. Turned Hogan in at the 19. Still has enough for the first down. It was Pepin. Give credit to Alex Pepin, the Granville senior, for his defense there.
Yeah, he really did a nice job blowing up the block. He took it on with his inside shoulder, used his hands to create separation and made a play. Again, I just continue to be impressed with the physicality and the block shedding and the tackling ability of this Hornets team.
Timeout for an injured player.
Very disciplined defense.
Calvin is charged with their first team timeout.
Michael Liggett shaking up the outstanding center for Calvin.
And that's a real blow if he can't go back in. He's that one lineman that never leaves the field. Calvin will rotate some, but he's the anchor of that offensive line. Hopefully he can get back out there quickly.
In today's game, we're looking for our Energizing the Knights player who gives Calvin a key lift in the game. It's brought to you by Playa Bowls, located at Celebration Village by Knapp's Corner in Grand Rapids. Playa Bowls is perfect for your morning boost or lunch break dream. Enjoy delicious super fruit bowls like acai, mango, and coconut, plus smoothies and more. Playa Bowls, your favorite acai shop. Are you an acai consumer?
I got to tell you, my wife loves strawberry acai refreshers from Starbucks, so I've had a couple. They're pretty good. Those bowls are probably a little bit healthier than that Starbucks drink, though.
Probably. 4 minutes to go, 10-10 here in the second quarter. Stay tuned for today's halftime stats and analysis from Tim Hiller, brought to you by Advantage Commercial Real Estate, your experienced commercial real estate advisor in West Michigan. 1st and 10 for the Knights. They have it at the 19-yard line.
It's a big opportunity for the Knights to go up 7 with only 4 to go in the half.
Matthew Hallam now in its center. That's somebody to watch for, Tim. Michael Liggett's been so good on the snaps. Here's Hogan on the inside handoff. Spins out of a tackler at the line of scrimmage, but then is wrapped up.
It's so important at the center position to have continuity, and so it is a different feel when you have a different center in the game. That exchange looked really good, but we know that Liggett is a leader, so this will be an interesting development to see how he's doing.
Tommy Cardis now in the game at linebacker, made that tackle along with Raymond Cargill. On 2nd down and 9, Vaccaro back to throw, has time, looks to a wide open end zone, touchdown, Calvin Knights! Caleb Dabowski roamed free in that left side. Patiently, Thomas Vaccaro found him, and Dabowski puts Calvin back on top 16-10.
You said it, Bob. So this play was designed, if you watch his eyes on the replay, to go to Mitch Merheisen. He looks to his right. It's not there. He steps up, feels the pressure, great patience, and just the corner lost his receiver in coverage, and just a great scramble drill here, staying with the quarterback, flowing out. Really a nice catch. Man, we've seen some good patience out of Vaccaro. He's running the system really well right now.
You saw that on the replay. Alex Pepin just sort of lost and drifting to the middle of the field, and Dabowski alertly found the open spot. On for the extra point is Logan Knapp. Drills it through with 3:29 to go in the first half. Calvin back on top. It's 17 for the Knights, 10 for the Hornets. Calvin back on defense. When we return, you're catching the Calvin Sports Network on WXSP, Michigan Sports Radio, and 96.1 The Game. Brought to you tonight by Denoyer Automotive Family.
Where will the next revolutionary idea come from? That next breakthrough in scientific research? At Calvin University, you can dream bigger, think deeper, aim higher. Our world-class faculty push students to keep asking hard questions and never settle for the status quo. Become part of a university that challenges students to go beyond as Christ's agents of renewal in the world. Calvin University, go beyond.
Bob Sack alongside Tim Hiller, high atop Calvin Soccer Stadium on this gorgeous Saturday night. Homecoming Saturday for Calvin. And Tim, boy, you look at the stats, and Calvin's really owned the statistical pace, yet they only lead 17-10. Critical time to score there and reestablish the lead.
It was, absolutely. Plus, you think about they were going to get to start the second half with the football, so that's huge. Really need to stop here. But how about Caleb Dabowski? Not a guy that we were talking a lot about in the pregame lead-up. He's made 3 big explosive plays, including the touchdown.
Kickoff to Lucas Hannafin, and again, he busts right up the numbers, and Calvin has a hard time tackling him. Little chippiness along the far sideline there.
I'm so impressed with Hannafin. Just his maturity, his patience, his physicality. He's so slippery, great at making plays in space. Very, very impressive player for the Hornets.
Zayden Churko was the one that finally ran him out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Bob, we've seen a lot of tempo. Both teams use tempo, but for different reasons. For Kalamazoo, they're up to the line of scrimmage without huddling, but they're not in so much of a hurry, whereas Calvin is intentionally going really fast. Right now, Kalamazoo has all 3 timeouts, 3:22. You know Jamie Zorbo is a smart guy. He's going to use the clock well. This is an important drive for Kalamazoo to get some points on the board and answer the Knights score.
Calvin with that umbrella defensive look, tandem twin safeties, a whistle and a timeout for Kalamazoo.
Their first timeout.
We'll step aside as well when we come back. 1st and 10 for the Hornets. 3:22 to go here in the first half on the Calvin Sports Network.
Night Nation. Today's game is brought to you by Capital and Risk Management Services. Since 1987, they've partnered with our community to provide financial and risk solutions that keep your future secure. Whether you're planning ahead or protecting what matters most, they're here for you. Connect with Russ Klausing at 312-458-4523 to learn more. Capital and Risk Management Services. Strategic solutions. Pursuing a secure future.
In today's game, a pass interference penalty on Kalamazoo is a Pietro's pass interference. A PI on Kalamazoo means 15 yards favorable for the Knights, and as fans, you receive a 15% off any pizza this weekend through Sunday night at Pietro's on Birchcrest near Brenton and 28th, where hand-tossed pizzas are prepared with the freshest made from scratch ingredients. 3:22 to go. 1st and 10 for Dawson Scoopin and the Hornets, trailing 17-10. Single running back is Bell. quick flip over the middle, complete for a first down right at the 45.
Really a nice ball there by Dawson Scoopin. He does a good job. Quick flash fake, sets his feet, and throws an accurate ball. I want to backtrack to that timeout, Bob. If I'm Jamie Zorbo, I would be furious to have to use one of my timeouts that I need to get a score to use it right off the change of possession from the sideline. Really a wasted timeout there from Kalamazoo. Still a good play, but now you only have 2 left as you're in the 2-minute drill.
Hayden Johnston, a backup tight end, caught that last ball for a 10-yard gain. Caden Kolanowski was there to meet him. 1st and 10 from the 45 for the Hornets. Knights with a 3-man front. They show a blitz from Hanog. Here comes the pressure, sets up the screen, and it was there, but so was C.J. Sheets to deflect that pass incomplete. A flag is on the floor here. It's either offside or maybe illegal procedure.
May not have been enough men on the line of scrimmage. You have to have 7 on the line. I'm not 100% sure, but that's kind of where my money lies. Trent's going to take the penalty rather than declining it.
Yards matter here in this late stage. Tim, you always hear these days, kind of the trend now is the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 of the third quarter are so key. Do you agree with that or not?
I do. I mean, I think you've got to use the clock well. B, their momentum shifting plays. If you can score or get a stop in that last minute and then you get the ball to start the half, boy, that's a big turn in momentum and a chance to open up the scoring.
And Calvin will get the second half kickoff. 2:35 to go, 1st and 15. Here's a design quarterback draw by Scoopin. And as he was bursting up the middle, Caden Bolduck came over to ankle tackle him right at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Really a nice tackle. He does a good job here coming inside. This is a design draw play, so the tackles fold up inside. He does a good job keeping his inside arm free, fights through the block. Great play.
2nd and 14 from the 41. Scooping back to throw, has time, slings it over the middle. It is incomplete. Too tall for Aaron Zeckman. Nolan was on the coverage. It's 3rd down and 14. Now all of a sudden Calvin's got a chance to get the ball back here.
Absolutely.
And do some more
with the tempo that
exactly
they play,
what you said.
You're right. They get the tempo they play, plus they have 2 timeouts. Really, again, just a bad start to the drive from the Hornets, and it might cost them here. 3rd and 15 is just a tough spot. There's not really a great call for it. We'll see what they dial up here on 3rd and 15.
4-man front. Knights show pressure here. They come bringing 6. Flag on the play. They did not get the play off, I think.
Yeah, we're going to have a false start on the offense. You can see the quarterback Scoopin leaning back, expecting the ball, but it didn't come. Miscommunication on the cadence.
Offense, number 10, 5 yards, 3rd down.
So that Calvin defense getting stingy here late in the first half. 2:03 to go. This will be the last play before the 2-minute timeout.
Kalamazoo has been so disciplined. They've really played a clean game. They've played disciplined football on both sides of the ball, but this drive has not been disciplined, Bob. They wasted a timeout coming off the sideline. 2 cleat penalties. Now you're in 3rd and 20. Really a lack of execution from the Hornets.
This time 3 down linemen. Knights show blitz off the end. They bring 5. Scoop it back to pass. Has time. Here comes the rush. He's flushed out. Rolling to his right. Sheets giving chase. Guns it down the right sideline. Intended for Hannafin. Caden Kolanowski was over to knock it away along with just generally good coverage. But there's that blanket you talked about early. And you watch Kolanowski, the safety, coming over just in time.
Absolutely. Great job on the edge here. Sheets getting involved. And then this is really actually a pretty good ball, but nice coverage on the back end by the Knights. Good pressure. I think when you look at Dawson Scoopin, he's dangerous because he can keep a play alive. He keeps it alive. He escapes the pocket and shows you that he can throw the ball downfield.
We have come to the 2-minute timeout. Calvin on top 17-10. When we come back, Knights have a chance to get the ball back on offense on the Calvin Sports Network.
Calvin showed me the importance of a family-like community. I saw this sort of community present in both my academics and in my athletics. On the field, my lacrosse team took Proverbs 27:17 to heart. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Saying Calvin became my home away from home does not do the place justice. The relationships I made in my time here and the spaces I've grown familiar and fond of have truly made Calvin my home. Calvin University, go beyond.
He'll kick it deep to Charlie Garbowski as Calvin's able to force another punt.
This is really an important special teams play. You don't want to give Calvin good field position if you're Kalamazoo. They've got to get a good kickoff and then milk that clock and really try to get the ball back.
Mo going to rugby kick it to the right side. Sends it right down the sideline. Takes a great Kalamazoo bounce out of bounds at the 15. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Educatius, the world leader in study abroad programs. Educatius brings hundreds of international students right here to Michigan. Enrich your family and change a young person's life by hosting an international student. Learn more at educatius.org. Stay tuned for the halftime show built by Insignia Homes and True Kitchens. It's packed with good stuff, including a quick word with Trent Fig. We'll have stats, first half analysis, look at an amazing Calvin alumnus, and our special guest is current Calvin senior Sophie Bull, who won a national championship last spring at the NCAA D3 Track Championships. That's all ahead on the halftime show built by Insignia Homes and True Kitchens. 1st and 10, Calvin. Minute 49 to go here in the first half. They'll start from their own 13-yard line. Fake to Hogan. Vaccaro slashes off right tackle out over the 15 to the 18.
Interesting call here. It's a designed run, but as fast as Calvin plays with tempo, you can go ahead and afford to do it. They're already to the line of scrimmage, ready to go on second here.
Balabuk hustled back to make that last tackle on second down. Hogan slithers his way along the line of scrimmage for a couple out to the 21, third down, and Trent Fig kind of being cautious with that first possession of this 2-minute drive, Tim.
He is. He doesn't want to give it back with any time on the clock, but you also want to move the sticks.
3rd and 3, Vaccaro back to pass, has time. Now he's flushed out. He's going to run over the 20. Lunges for the marker, and I don't know. I think he's going to be short. He needed to get to the 23.
Yep, there's the 4th down signal. Just
and
a bit short.
He's escorted out of bounds at the 22 with 64 seconds to go. So neither team musters anything here in the 2-minute offense.
Really a missed opportunity there. I don't mind the runs on 1st and 2nd down. I think that's okay, but you get in that 3rd down situation, you've got to get that 1st down, got to see where the sticks are. Unfortunately, Vaccaro came up a bit short, and he went out of bounds, which stopped the clock. Not what you're looking for from Calvin. Both teams really missed an opportunity to manage the clock well in the final 3 minutes here.
Drake Irwin on to kick, and Calvin's going to spend a timeout.
Their second timeout of the half.
You can see Trent's frustration a little bit. You just got to get that first down. I'm a little surprised that they didn't throw the ball in the early downs. Again, I don't have a problem with it, but that 3rd down is just crucial. That even if you stay in bounds and dive, you got to get that 1st down so that you can keep the clock rolling and keep the ball in your possession. You don't want to give it back here, knowing that you start the 3rd quarter with the football.
As I mentioned at halftime, we'll be joined by Sophie Bull, who won the national championship last year in the NCAA Steeplechase Championship. By the way, the last Calvin runner to win a natty was Nicole Mishmerheisen-Pasquale. That's actually Luke's oldest sibling, older sister. She is now a postdoctoral research fellow at St. Jude Children's Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. Studied chemical engineering at Calvin, got her PhD from Michigan in 2019. Most recent research, Tim, if this is of interest to you, was insulin gene therapy for pediatric diabetes.
I'll tell you, the Mishmerheisen family has it going on. How about that? Very impressive people.
On to rugby punt as Drake Irwin drives Hannafin back to the 42 where he fair catches it. And it'll be 1st and 10. So now Kalamazoo really in good shape as we slowly approach halftime. Neither team really with much success.
You know, Bob, this final 3 minutes hasn't gone at all how we thought it would, right? You know, Kalamazoo had the ball, they're moving it, and then they get in a 3rd and 20. Some penalties cost them. They give it back, and then the Knights go quickly 3 and out, and now Kalamazoo has it again. So 3 different possessions in 3 minutes. Pretty interesting. And with 2 timeouts, you really have a great chance to score with 58 seconds. This is a dangerous position for the Knights.
Calvin with 1 timeout left. Kalamazoo with 2. 1st and 10 from their own 42. Scooping back to throw, looks left. Now he's flushed out. He's going to run to his right. Races by Caden McCullough to the sticks. Alex Minahan was there to escort him out, but not before the quarterback picked up 10 more yards. Scoopin comes into this game as their leading rusher. He's rushed for 210 yards and showing it right there.
Really versatile. He had his check down on the running back, but he saw the alley, took off, and he has the speed to get there. Very impressive senior quarterback, great patience in the pocket. And they're in striking distance now inside the Knights' 50-yard line.
From the 47, back to pass is Scoopin, has time. Nobody open. Now he'll flush out to the right, fling it towards the right sideline, out of bounds, and live another day. with 41 seconds to go in the second quarter. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Again, you just see the maturity of a senior quarterback. He knows he's outside the tackle box. He knows the situation. He doesn't want to force the ball downfield, throws it away, live another down. Now it's 2nd and 10.
Connor Bell, the single setback.
Bob, notice the bracket coverage here on number 4, Hannafin. You've got the safety over the top. Now there's pressure coming.
Bolduc off that right edge. Here comes Calvin with 6 rushers. Bolduc giving chase to Scoop, and he's flushed out again. Horse collar down at the 45.
I think we're going to have a holding call.
8 yards, but a flag on the play. So now, Tim, what do you do? Do you take the penalty? It'll be 3rd and 18. But if you take the penalty, you lose another down in time.
Yeah. And Trent beat us to it. I was going to say decline it. He did that. You definitely don't want to give them any extra downs to get the ball downfield. And so you can see how that interior hold just gets the hands outside. And unfortunately for the Hornets, they're in a really tough situation now. Your goal at this point is to just keep the clock moving and see if you can get to halftime. You're just not in a position here where you can take much of a shot.
Clock running inside of 30 seconds now on 3rd down and 19 for Dawson Scoop, and the senior from South Lyon back to throw. So run all the way up the middle he goes. Now angles toward the left sideline and is sandwiched at the 40 by Garbowski and Minahan. Ball popped loose, but I think he was down with 14 seconds to go. He got a lot of that back. So now it's 4th down and 3.
And Jamie Zorbo calls a timeout. Pretty dangerous here. He's got field position. It'll be interesting to see if they go for it on 4th here. Try to get a timeout, center the ball, kick a field goal.
Calvin thought that they had jarred that ball loose, but I thought he was down.
I think he was down too. What a run, though. I mean, 3rd and 18, weaves through the pocket. Great job staying patient, and now a manageable 4th and 4. If I'm Jamie Zorbo, why not go for it?
Kalamazoo will take a timeout. That, I think, leaves them with 1. Again, don't forget the halftime show coming up, built by Insignia Homes. Insignia wants you to know that whether your next project is an urban renewal in the city, a remodel of a family lake house, or a new country estate, the Insignia Homes team is eager to help you achieve your dreams. Statistically, Calvin with the edge. Total yardage today, 228 to 167. On the ground, Calvin up 78 to 29. So statistically, a lot of things going well for Trent Figg. He'll join us right at the end of the half and talk about where he's frustrated. I think, you know, you're playing well enough to be ahead by more than 1 score.
You really are.
On the other hand, take the lead into the break.
Absolutely. You know, just this last 3 minutes, it's been a very clean, very disciplined, very well-played half. And then, like we talked about earlier, just the quick changes in possessions. Neither team able to hold the ball for more than 60 seconds at a time. Really something that you've got to improve upon as the year goes on. Managing that clock. We used to talk about both the 2-minute drill and the 4-minute drill, Bob. The 4-minute drill is designed to keep possession of the football, keep getting manageable 3rd downs and moving that ball while retaining possession. Interesting spot here. If you get this 1st down, you call a quick timeout. You still have 1 left, and you can kick a field goal. Really an interesting opportunity for the Hornets to go into the half.
4th down and 3 at the Calvin 40 for Kalamazoo. Dawson Scoopin barks out the signals. Takes the shotgun snap, back to pass, throws left sideline. It is caught and dropped by Hannafin. Incomplete.
Interesting play call. They just ran verticals into the sideline. It was great coverage by the defensive back. He threw a back shoulder throw to Hannafin, and unlike anything we've seen, he ended up dropping it. He's caught everything they've thrown his way. Interesting call. I'd rather kind of see some crossing routes against all the blitzing and man coverage that Calvin has played. But you got to trust your playmakers. He's the best guy they've got. He threw it up in a one-on-one matchup, just didn't come down with it. Calvin will probably just run this into the half here with 8 seconds to go.
8 seconds. Thomas Vaccaro sends Seth Anderson and Caleb Dabowski wide to the left. Mishmerheisen and Klunder to the right. Vaccaro rolled to his left, steps up in the pocket, now throws deep over the middle, and it is incomplete. Flag comes in late.
I think number 66, that's the backup center. We talked about the effect of Michael Liggett being out. Matthew Hallam was downfield. I think that's going to be an ineligible receiver penalty on the Knights. He was pretty far down the field, 7-8 yards.
Or holding.
The center is the quarterback of the offensive line. It'll be interesting to see. I may ask Trent about that at half, how Michael Liggett is. I hope that he can get back in there. That's really important for that front five on offense.
Certainly a story of the first half has been Hunter Hogan, fairly bottled up. 15 carries, 52 yards. Yeah, you called it, Tim.
Offense number 52, 5 yards.
It was actually Braden Steinbacher who leaked out down the field, but tough play for the lineman.
It's a tough play. You know, in a sprint out, you don't know how long the quarterback's holding the football. And so as you get downfield, if he hasn't released it yet, you can get yourself in a pickle being 6-7 yards downfield, and that's exactly what happened on that sprint out play.
Matthew Hallam up over the ball, 2 seconds to go. Should be the final play of the 17-10 first half. They give us to Hogan, and that's the way the first half ends, as he's dropped at the 35-yard line by Bryce Balabook. First half in the books, 17-10. Nice lead on a couple of touchdown passes. One to Carter Baalsma, the other to Caleb Dabowski. And we'll see if we can grab Trent Figg here at the before he heads to the locker room.
Really a
ubiquitous
well-played
Jeff
first half.
Phoebus rolls him in, and Trent's headed our way as we that beautiful overhead shot with the new football stadium in the background. Gorgeous setting here tonight at Calvin. Welcome to the halftime show built by Insignia Homes and True Kitchens. We head down to the field where Calvin head coach Trent Figg is standing by. Trent, 17-10 at the break. What did you like about that first half, and what was a bit frustrating to you?
Yeah, not much. I mean, we came out and, we've lost the field position battle, and that's what we got to win. I mean, it's been all about field position, all about physicality. We got to go to work the second half. So I like the way we responded offensively, gave up a really cheap play early on defense. Can't do that again. Right now, we talk about the Knights can't beat the Knights. That's what's happening right now.
Trent, Tim Hiller here. Michael Liggett, key pillar at center. He's out. How's he doing? Is he going to be back in the second half?
Yeah, he's fine. They got him wrapped up. They said he'll be back.
All right. Trent Figg, good luck in the second half.
Thanks.
17-10, Knights on top. Quick scoring recap. Kalamazoo took a 3-0 lead on a Cameron Lewis field goal. 7-play, 52-yard drive with 12-11 gone in the, or just 12-11 to play in the first quarter. Calvin responded on their drive with a march of 39 yards in 10 plays. Logan Knapp tied it with a field goal from 28 yards. That made it 3-3 with 5:26 to go in the first quarter. Calvin took their first lead of the game on a Vaccaro touchdown pass to Carter Baalsma from 5 yards out. Calvin then 10-3, but Connor Bell's 9-yard touchdown run with 10:10 to go in the second quarter knotted the score at 10. And Calvin took the lead 17-10 when Vaccaro hit either Caleb Dabowski or Seth Anderson. I thought it was Caleb Dabowski. Scoring summary says Seth Anderson, but I'm sure that was 0 in the end zone for the score. And Calvin leads at 17-10 here at halftime. For busy student athletes, getting your wisdom teeth pulled can seem like a big deal. The Center for Oral Surgery and Dental Implants make it a comfortable experience. With locations in Grand Rapids and Rockford, they can also help with dental implants and tooth extractions. For great oral care when you need it, visit GrandRapidsOralSurgery.com for more information. When we return, the halftime show built by Insignia Homes and True Kitchens takes us behind the scenes with a very accomplished Calvin alumnus. And later we'll be joined by current Calvin National Track and Field champ, Sophie Bull. That's ahead on the halftime show, furnished by True Kitchens. Daily life thrives at the intersection of beauty and function. And True Kitchens is passionate about designing your dream living space in a way that reflects your personal taste and lifestyle. Back after this, 17-10 at halftime. You're watching the Calvin Sports Network on WXSP TV, Michigan Sports Radio, 96.1 The Game. Brought to you tonight by Denoyer Automotive Family, with a vision of providing guests the best automotive purchase and ownership experience ever. Back after this.
The coach just put you in the game. Everything is on the line. Are you ready? Just like a winning team needs a strategy, your finances need a game plan. At Skipper and Osterink, we're your financial coaches. We strategize together, striving to adapt to every financial play. Your victories are our victories. Our goal is to help you be successful. Join the Skipper and Osterink team. Your financial success is our focus.
To know Christ is to know suffering. It was in my deepest, darkest moments of my life that I think I was able to glimpse a little bit of God. I realized that being in such an intensive, immersive musical experience made me happy, and it gave me more confidence in myself and in my voice. Redeeming every square inch for me now means creating great music programs on a strategic level that impacts many people. The most personally rewarding venture is starting the first professional symphony orchestra in the city of Bandung. Now I know that music can change lives. This happens one person, one heart, and one precious moment at a time.
Night Nation. Today's game is brought to you by Capital and Risk Management Services. Since 1987, they've partnered with our community to provide financial and risk solutions that keep your future secure. Whether you're planning ahead or protecting what matters most, they're here for you. Connect with Russ Klausing at 312-458-4523 to learn more. Capital and Risk Management Services. Strategic solutions, pursuing a secure future.
In its most simple sort of definition, metrology is the science of measurement, which is simple in stating, but actually is very complex in terms of actually accomplishing. The GPS, it shows that I'm sitting in the living room within 6 feet of where I am. That measurement requires us to measure time to within a billionth of a second. The ability to measure something well gives you a level of trust in what's happening in the world. You trust that when you go to the gas station and you buy a gallon of gas, it's actually a gallon. That level of trust allows you to understand the world and to function. So I got my math and physics degree from Calvin, went on to graduate school in Maryland, and then postdoc at Johns Hopkins Medical School, and then got my job at what was then the National Bureau of Standards and became the National Institute of Standards and Technology. So I've held a lot of different positions at NIST. Started as a bench scientist, worked my way up through management chain, eventually became acting director for a while between administrations, and now I am the chief metrologist. So I am the person who's supposed to be watching over the core measurement program of the National Institute of Standards and Technology. It's a great privilege to interact with people from around the world, literally from many, many, many different countries. And you can see that we're all God's people. We're all working towards a universal goal. In 2018, we redefined the International System of Units. It was a major change. 67 countries that had signed the Treaty of the Meter all agreed unanimously to make the change. It's not very often you find that sort of agreement amongst the countries of the world these days. But it is good to see that, people are people. As I get older and I'm sort of fading into the end of my career, what's really rewarding is to see the projects that I had a hand in starting, sometimes a decade or more ago, where a scientist came to me and said, I have an idea, and I was able to put a little bit of resources towards it, and then to see how those things have now blossomed into just truly amazing developments and advances. Well, certainly the science and math classes prepared me for my career technically, but I think the liberal arts part of the Calvin education prepared me in a lot of ways that I didn't expect as a scientist, sort of to be able to think through a problem very carefully and objectively in terms of defining what the problem really is and where we wanted to go with it. And of course, my faith that God is in control has been very important. I didn't plan to end up where I ended up. In fact, there were lots of times in my career where opportunities presented themselves and I wasn't sure I even wanted to do it. But I could see that God had put this opportunity in my path, so I decided I would go for it, and if it happened, then that meant God wanted me to do it. But I actually think there's something involved in measurements and in metrology that's very biblical. There's a lot of references in the Bible to fair trade and fair measurements and being fair to people. The fact is, there is a good answer to most technical questions, and you can trust it. And it's because God made the universe the way He did. So the more you probe it, the more you measure it, the more you understand it, the more you appreciate the beauty of it. And it really just makes it clear that God created everything, and he did it very precisely.
It started with one survivor, one person that I wanted to help. Her name is Delynn, but she had a debt issue that we had to resolve. And working with pro bono legal counsel, we were able to do that. I saw the difference that it made in her life. And I thought, if she has these kinds of legal needs, certainly other survivors do as well. My name is Nate Napper. I'm a 2008 graduate of Calvin University, and I'm currently a special agent with the FBI. I'm also an attorney, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Joseph Project. I'm of the opinion that there is no reason why every single human trafficking survivor in need of legal services shouldn't be given those services free of charge. And the idea was to connect them with pro bono legal help so that they could resolve that legal collateral damage and move forward into a brighter future. And I'm happy to say that we've connected with over 300 survivors of human trafficking. I'll always remember the moment that I learned that one of our survivors, Leslie, had been pardoned by Governor Gretchen Whitmer of all past crimes associated with her trafficking. Michigan's first ever survivor of trafficking to be pardoned by a sitting governor. Criminal charges cleared. Working as a collaborative team, every single charge was resolved. Those are the moments that stick with me. And usually, it's funny, it always has to do with others. It usually has nothing to do with me. And I think that's, another point where Jesus was right all along. That was a beautiful result. And it reminded me, that I've always resonated with the idea that we could be agents of renewal, right? That we could work and cooperate alongside the vision that God has for the world, that we can usher in the kingdom of God in some ways right here, right now, with the people that we are immediately surrounded by if we're just willing to follow him in obedience. I love that notion. So it's nice, right, to be recognized. I appreciate it, certainly. I give the credit and I give the praise to God. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about my parents and how I would say the deep level of sacrifice that they made. It's a lot. I just appreciate the fact that they lay some of their own dreams down to make sure that I could live mine. You're willing to submit to his path in obedience, dream the dreams that he would have you enact for the world. I think that you'll go places that you would never imagine going.
Biggie's Sports Grill, your next destination for any occasion.
With incredible entertainment and amazing food that makes you want to come back for more.
Where family memories are made.
Where sports are enjoyed and friends gather.
Cheers to good times, great friends, and a place where the game is always on. Only at Big E's.
Join the next generation of global business leaders at Calvin University School of Business, offering 8 undergraduate majors and 2 master's degrees, and exceptional faculty with real-world experience who will partner with you and guide you along the way, and opportunities to participate in internships, study abroad programs, and hands-on learning experiences. This is Calvin University School of Business. Your future begins here.
This year has definitely changed my world. I'm making an impact here. It feels good to know every day that I'm growing in my abilities that I love, which is film, and I'm also growing as a believer in faith.
I'm really thankful that I was able to do work in my field during school, at school, and that has given me the confidence to move forward with doing my own independent work and getting to put my foot in that door before I even graduate. I don't think I would have found elsewhere.
To Calvin University halftime here 17-10, the Knights on top of the Hornets. Welcome into the halftime show built by Insignia Homes and True Kitchens. Bob Sack alongside a national champion, Sophie Bull, a senior here at Calvin, joins us after winning the national NCAA steeplechase 3,000 meters championship last spring. Congratulations on that. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, I want to know you as a junior, senior here at Calvin.
Yeah.
What's it like to have football on campus?
It's been exciting. Yeah, I think honestly just having games like this has brought a lot of excitement and energy to campus. And obviously they've had a great start to their season, so that's encouraging. And it's just fun to see the Calvin community rally around the team like this.
Sophie, last May you captured the national championship. Take us back to that day. The race, the win, the emotion, just what was that day like to win a national championship?
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, I just remember the moment of crossing the finish line felt so surreal. I couldn't believe it was happening. So it was really rewarding to see all our hard work pay off in that way. And I was just so excited. It was something I had dreamed about for a long time. So to see it come true was really incredible.
How much did you go into that day thinking you had a real shot at this, or how much did that national title day sort of just evolve into this incredible surprise?
I knew I had a shot, but again, like you never know when it comes to nationals. So I was just trying to do everything I could to do the best that I could. But it was really a big shock as well. Just to make it that achievement was something I had hoped about for a long time. So it was really incredible. Yeah.
So you are a senior now. You will lead your cross country, track and field team as well.
Yeah.
What goals does one have for their senior year other than to win again? What kind of goals do you have in senior year after winning the national title?
Lots of goals. I mean, I think obviously the main goal is just try and keep pushing myself to keep improving, to be the best runner I can be. I would love to try to improve upon my placement at nationals for cross country and indoor track and field. And then when outdoor track comes around, I'd love to just see what I can do in steeplechase, chase down some records if possible. And do the best I can my senior year.
Last question. You are from Denver.
I am.
What brought you to Calvin University?
Many different reasons. Yeah. I met with one of the coaches for the cross country and track and field teams, and that was great. And I've got family nearby, so many different things like that. But I think the biggest thing was just the tight-knit community I felt when I came here. I could tell there was something special about Calvin and the people and the way they interacted, and that was something I really wanted to be a part of.
All right. Sophie, congratulations on winning the Natty last spring, and all the best this year and beyond. Calvin, what's ahead? Any early thoughts on post-graduation?
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly what running's going to look like for me after graduation. My coach and I have our eyes on a few competitive meets next summer, so we'll see what that looks like. But hoping to go to grad school and continue on after that.
Well, you've made Nicole Kramer, your coach, and the Calvin community very, very proud.
Thank you
Congrats
so much
on that, and have a great season coming up.
I appreciate it. Thank
Sophie
you.
Bull joining us here at halftime on the Insignia Homes Halftime Show. When we return, Tim Hiller and I will dissect the stats of this exciting and very interesting first half. Get you ready for the second half. Kalamazoo, Calvin coming up on the Calvin Sports Network tonight, brought to you by Denoyer Automotive Family.
I had one goal: Olympic swimmer. I was ranked 7th nationally by age 12. When injuries ended that dream, I thought my life was over. But at Calvin, I discovered I'm not just an athlete. I'm a coach, a leader, a storyteller. Go beyond at Calvin University.
Calvin showed me the importance of a family-like community. I saw this sort of community present in both my academics and in my athletics. On the field, my lacrosse team took Proverbs 27:17 to heart. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Saying Calvin became my home away from home does not do the place justice. The relationships I made in my time here and the spaces I've grown familiar and fond of have truly made Calvin my home. Calvin University, go beyond.
Back inside the halftime show, built by Insignia Homes, furnished by True Kitchens. Bob Sack with Tim Hiller as we get set for the second half of this 17-10 football game. Quick look at some of the halftime stats. Rushing controlled by the Knights, 150 yards, 78 yards on the ground to 29 for Kalamazoo. Through the air, 150 to 138. So Calvin owns a 228 to 167 edge in total offense today. No turnovers in the game. Big blocked field goal by Jair Nolan earlier was the one key flip. But here's a few individual stats that are important too. And I think the one that jumps out at me, really, Tim, is Thomas Vaccaro, 12 out of 14. It's the first time you've seen this young quarterback. He played at Christ Presbyterian High School in Nashville, went to Samford where he backed up in a D1 program, never saw the field. He's getting more and more comfortable, and I thought his decision-making was pretty good. What's your thoughts on his 12 for 14 for 150 in the first half?
You're spot on, Bob. Incredibly efficient. One of the things that I really like is just his pocket presence. He did a great job throughout the first half, stepping up, staying alive, coming off his primary read. We saw a couple plays that Ben Dixon had designed to stretch the field vertically. Wasn't there. He came off his primary read, checked it down. A couple nice checkdowns of Hunter Hogan late in the half. Really very comfortable and poised in the pocket, and he ran for a couple nice yardage plays on third down. And just, yeah, an impressive half for sure. I think a storyline for me is just the impressive play at the front for Kalamazoo. They've really bottled up Hunter Hogan. He hasn't gotten free quite yet, and the run game has been kind of slow getting going for the Knights. Really an important opportunity for them. Coming out of the half, they really need to see if they can get at least 3 points. Trent was upset with some of the field position as we went into the half. They really were behind the sticks a lot, had it deep in their own end a lot. Needs the defense to turn that around here in the second half and pin the Hornets back deep in their end and try to assert their dominance in their own half of the field.
More Advantage Commercial Real Estate halftime stats presented by Advantage Commercial Real Estate, your experienced commercial real estate advisor in West Michigan. Dawson Skupin's been pretty good too, 13 to 22 for 138. Really doesn't seem to be a quarterback, Tim, that makes mistakes.
No, very clean half. Just the maturity of a senior, right? You see him escaping the pocket. You see him throwing the ball accurately on the run. And then when nothing's there, just throwing it away and living another down. The other player that we talked a lot about that really impressed me in all aspects of the game, Lucas Hannafin, number 4. Tons of catches, great in the return game. Again, how many yards? 130, unbelievable with a 70-yard catch. Just an incredible half for him. Probably over 200 if you factor in the return yards. Really an impressive player. Again, this is an important drive for the Knights to start strong, win the field position game, ideally get points on the board. We'll see. We got a great battle here. It's going to be a fun second half.
It was a dandy last year. Kalamazoo prevailed in the final minute, scored with 15 seconds to go to knock off the Knights down in Kalamazoo before a raucous Saturday night crowd down south on 131, and this has got the makings of the same type of finish. So buckle up, stay with us. Calvin ready to receive the second half kickoff. Eddie Langston has it teed up. He'll kick deep to Hudson Shoup. Low line drive kick will bounce at the 15, taken by Shoup along the right sideline. Angles to the middle, now tries to get to the left edge. Can't outflank that Kalamazoo kick return team. They snow him under. Brody Quinn first to meet him and contain the edge, and great kickoff.
That was great placement, you know, right inside the 10. Almost went out of bounds, but it didn't. Kind of put Shoup in a position that he had to field it, and he did. Has great speed, but just good pursuit angles and wasn't able to get out. This is another field position play. Trent was frustrated at the half. Now you're on your own 15-yard line. That's a tough spot to start. You really want to get out past the 25. We'll see what they can get going here on 1st and 10.
I like Trent Figg's answer to our question. What do you like about the first half? Not much. But hey, he is ahead 17 to 10. Vaccaro runs the option right, pitches to Hogan. He has daylight around the right end. Cut down nicely at the 20-yard line by Corey Garrison, but not before Hunter Hogan, who had 52 yards in the first half on 15 carries, was able to pick up 5 yards.
They ran that play earlier. Better execution there by Vaccaro. He made the DN commit to him and then gave a clean pitch on the speed option.
2nd and 5 from his own 20. Quick out route to Mishmerheisen. Vaccaro delivers it on the money near the sticks at the 24. Bulls Swain over to make the stop, and they'll give him enough for the first down. So 2 plays, 5 yards each. First down, Calvin, to start this all-important first drive here of the second half.
At the start of a game or the start of the third quarter, the first down is the most important to get some rhythm.
Run pass option. Vaccaro keeps around the left end, slides in at the 30. How about you, when you were a quarterback, how well did you perfect the slide on the scramble?
I don't know if I got it perfect. I had some knee injuries, so I was always wearing braces like a big offensive lineman. But, you know, you got to dive down. You don't want to take big hits. It's about longevity and sustainability. A heady play there to get down after 5 yards.
Vaccaro gained 3 on that. On 2nd and 7, hands off to Hogan. They stretch it out nicely. Good work by that secondary. Ben Maurice coming up from his strong safety spot to stretch it out. Hogan had nowhere to go, pushed out of bounds back at the 27. It's 3rd and 8.
And Nolan Janinga, again, right around the football. He's not necessarily making the tackle, but he's getting nice penetration, staying in the hip pocket of the running back and forcing him wide. Again, another nice play by the Kalamazoo front.
Play fake. Vaccaro back to throw on 3rd down and 8. He's got a man, Mishmerheisen, outside the numbers on the right sideline. Lunges for the marker at the 35 in front of Speed. I think he got it. Brandon Speed. How about that size difference, Tim? Brandon Speed, 5'9", 160.
Well, and what you see here, good job of Thomas Vaccaro with his eyes. He holds his eyes down the midline to freeze the safety and not allow him to undercut the route. And then he comes late to Mishmerheisen. Nice job by Thomas Vaccaro.
On 1st and 10, he'll flip it left sideline to Clunder. Makes a nice grab, climbing the ladder for that high throw from Vaccaro. Picked up about 2 before Alex Pepin drilled him there. 2nd down and 8.
Really impressed with the tackling of Kalamazoo. Alex Pepin, that's a sure tackle. He wraps him up in open space, doesn't let go. Nice job pursuing to the football by Kalamazoo.
From the 38, they run the same play. Clunder on the tunnel screen. Pepin there again. This time Clunder bowls right through him, but Raymond Cargill cleans up at the 42. Gain of about 5. It'll be 3rd down and 3, and already on this drive, our second big 3rd down play. Jude Clunder, not a big guy, but boy, he lowered the shoulder on Pepin.
I love the
physicality. A couple 160-pounders going at it.
Absolutely. I love the physicality on both sides of the football. Put the shoulder down. It was a good form tackle and a big collision at the point of attack. This isn't actually a design screenplay. What it is it's a RPO, a run pass read. If there's more players in the box, you throw it out on the perimeter. Really good job by Vaccaro recognizing that, hey, Kalamazoo's got a run-stopping defense, more players in the box than I have to account for them blocking, so I'll pick it up and throw it on the outside.
3rd and 4 at the 41, and I think Braden Steinbacher, the left guard for Calvin Jump. Let's set that Calvin offensive line on the left side. It's
52, 5 yards.
Andrew Berg, 72. Steinbacher's 52. The right side is Winton Napier at the right guard. He's 67, and Wyatt Young is 75. Key development. Trent Figg told us that Liggett would be back at center.
Yeah,
he's not
in the game. No,
Matthew
he's not.
Hallam is the center. 3rd down and 9 at their own 36 for Thomas Vaccaro. He has Carter Bosmo, caught a touchdown pass earlier. Lined up as the H-back left. Hogan off his right hip. Vaccaro turns, fakes to Hogan. Back to throw. Here comes the rush, and down he goes. Back at the 28. Corey Garrison coming through along with Marcus Petty was the other one, the linebacker who blitzed. And watch the replay. There's Garrison, 22, for those watching on television, and Petty right there. But Corey Garrison, he's been good tonight.
You know, Hunter Hogan doesn't make many mistakes. He's a great player, but he just whiffed on the block. He had to fill on the inside pressure and help his guard. He went low, tried to cut, and a great job by Garrison. He uses his hands, pushes the block to the ground, jumps over it, and gets in for the sack. A really nice field fire zone blitz from the Hornets.
Logan Knapp on to punt. Here comes the rush. He gets a lazy end-over-end kick that'll be taken by Hannafin. Fair caught at the 37. And 1st and 10 there for Kalamazoo at the 37. If you're coming to Grand Rapids for a Calvin home game or any other university event, your home for accommodation is the Hilton Garden Inn, less than 1 mile south of campus. And while you are there, catch all the games on the big screens at Big E's Sports Grill. Today's 3rd quarter brought to you by Skipper No Strength Wealth Management, providing personal financial strategies tailored to your lifestyles and goals. 1st and 10 for Dawson Skupin, the 6'4 senior out of South Lyon. At his own 37-yard line, Bolduc shows blitz off the left side. They give it to Connor Bell, who is stonewalled by Caden McCullough right at the 38. Maybe fell forward to the 39 for a yard or 2.
Really a great job here by Caden McCullough. The left guard, Sam Reynolds, number 63. This is a power play. It's a double team to the backside. The right guard pulls around, and McCullough reads it. He gets in his hip pocket and blows the play up. Just a great downhill play by the linebacker.
3 receivers out to the left on 2nd and 8. Back to throw is Skupin. He has time. Lofts it complete over the middle at the 50 to Carson Moat. The big 6'5 receiver carries a couple tacklers down to the 39. Kolanowski hung on for dear life, though. Flag came in late. Could that be a holding downfield?
This is a nice job of sitting in the pocket by Dawson Skupin. He's got a curl flat concept, so they widen the flat player. Number 5, Moat, comes in on a post stem curl, a nice open window and a great ball, and then he gets upfield. Yards after catch has been a common theme for the Hornets wideouts. They really make yardage after first contact, and a nice play by 5, Moat.
for Moat. That is his third catch of the night for 45 yards. Here's the call.
There is no foul on the play. Result of the play is first down.
1st and 10 now at the 39-yard line for Kalamazoo, trying to get the equalizer here with 10-11 to go in the third quarter. So the rest of that Hornets offensive line, it's been good tonight. Sam Reynolds, you mentioned, a left guard. Mario Pomorski at left tackle. He's from Fraser. Reynolds from nearby Three Rivers. Alex Russell from Lake Orion is the center. 1st and 10 from the 39. Split wide to the right is Zekman. Hannafin in the slot left. Back to throw is Skupin. Jump pass complete to Jaden Johnson. And the big tight end lumbers his way inside the 35 to the 34 before he is crushed by Kolanowski and Paul Hubbard along with McCullough.
This is a boundary pressure dialed up by the Knights, so they bring the will linebacker as well as the weak side safety. Bring 4 guys from one side trying to overload a zone. Kalamazoo had a tight end screened on. Pretty good call right into the blitz.
2nd and 3 from the 37. Connor Bell with big hole up the middle as he cut it back inside the 20 down to the 19.
Another power play. Obviously, the Hornets are on to something. You got Carson Schnerstein, usually the sure tackling linebacker. Sam Reynolds again, 63, pulling. Great block up on number 2 and freed him into the secondary.
1st and 10 from the 19. Scooping to throw. Looks left cornered near the pylon for Hannafin. Incomplete. Paul Hubbard was over there. So was Alex Minahan.
Nice coverage from Hubbard. Yeah, really nice job there. That's their playmaker, number 4, Lucas Hannafin. They sprinted out left. They had what's called a China or a smash concept. They had a hitch route on the outside, a corner route on the inside. Tried to throw a level 2 ball over the top and just couldn't quite get it in there. Really nice coverage by the Knights.
From the 19-yard line, 2nd down and 10 for Connor Bell. 3 receivers split to the left. Now Johnson in motion left to right. Scooping out of the shotgun, back to pass, throws left corner of the end zone, and it is incomplete. Good coverage intended for Hannafin again. Stride for stride was Paul Hubbard, that freshman from Birmingham Groves. He was hurt late in the first half last week at Heidelberg. He's been so good this year. Good to see him healthy and back in action. Again, described his injury as a guy who got hurt as a quick twitch guy. Yeah. And they recover a little bit faster than those lumbering linebackers.
Absolutely, yeah. He's got the speed. He showed it there. Again, trying to free up Hannafin with motion. They ran an out and up off the motion on a wheel route. Great coverage to stay with him.
3rd down and 10 at the 19 for Dawson Skupin in the red zone. Back to throw. Throws down the right sideline. Yeah, caught out of bounds at the goal line by Zekman. Jair Nolan, really the blanket cover guy for Calvin, was right there. A little bit of contact, but the pass was really uncatchable out of bounds.
Yeah, if you're going to drop it in the bucket there, you've got to give your receiver a chance. And the receiver has to do what's called hold the line. He's got to stack on top of the corner and stay vertical and give you space to throw the ball. Right there, the receiver just got pushed out. Aaron Zekman, he got pushed into the sideline. Really didn't give Dawson Skupin a chance to give him anywhere to throw the ball.
Cameron Lewis on to attempt a 26-yard field goal. On its way, hit it solid and drilled it. Cameron Lewis with his 2nd field goal of the night. That trims the lead to 17-13. Calvin still on top. They go to work on offense when we come back on the Calvin Sports Network.
The coach just put you in the game. Everything is on the line. Are you ready? Just like a winning team needs a strategy, your finances need a game plan. At Skipper and Osterink, we're your financial coaches. We strategize together, striving to adapt to every financial play. Your victories are our victories. Our goal is to help you be successful. Join the Skipper and Osterink team. Your financial success is our focus.
Lake Michigan Credit Union. Last weekend, the Calvin women's golf team took first place at the 2-day 36-hole Heidelberg Invitational with a final weekend team score of 629. Calvin's winning total was aided by a winning final round team score of 311, which set a new Calvin women's golf single round record. Sophomore Brooke Haney of Rochester was Calvin's top individual finisher in the 4th place, shooting rounds of 78 and 76. That's today's Calvin Women's Sports Report presented by Lake Michigan Credit Union, where our members really like earning more when they save and paying less when they borrow. Kickoff by Langston, taken by Shoup at the 5, up the right hash. Crunched at the 25-yard line. Right there to meet him was Brody Quinn again. So 1st and 10 from the 25. Calvin on their first possession of the third quarter moved the football but could not sustain it. And now they'll take over at the 25 with 8:40 to go. I think needing to give that defense a little bit of a rest, Tim, if nothing else.
They really do. You know, we talked about this in the pregame, right, Bob, that the upside of tempo is you keep the defense on their heels. The downside is you don't give your defense much rest if you go 3 and out, and we're seeing that play out a little bit.
Nick Earls in at running back now. Quick flip to Dabowski on the bubble screen along the right sideline. He maneuvers up the boundary for a gain of 4 before Ben Maurice slid over to drive him out of bounds.
Dabowski's really played a key role in the game plan tonight. Good to see. He's made a lot of plays on the perimeter. Really good at running that bubble screen against pressure.
Gives it Nick Earls here on 2nd down. Spins out of a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and Cargill upends him at the 33. It'll be 3rd down and 2. You're right, Dabowski been battling a little bit of injury at the start of the season. He's healthy now, and Trent Fix says he's, if not the fastest, one of the fastest players on this team. 3rd and 2 for Calvin at the 33. Hornets show blitz. Garrison and Cargill come up, and now Thomas Vaccaro backs off as the play clock dips inside of 15. Seth Anderson split wide to the left. 2 receivers out to the right. Quick pass, right flat complete to Mishmerheisen. He lunges for the marker along the boundary. It's really close. Jalen Bowles-Swain was right there, but again, the strength and size of Luke Mishmerheisen, as you can see for those watching on television, when you're 6'7", Tim, you can just fall for a first down.
You sure can, and he does a good job here of also lowering his pad level. As a tall guy, that's tough to do, but he lowers the shoulder, gets the first down, good awareness.
On 1st and 10, daylight for Earls, right up the gut, over the 40 to the 42.
You like the downhill
Garrison
change of
with
pace. Earls really is more of a vertical up and down north and south runner, a little different than Hunter Hogan, but he does a nice job sticking his shoulder, getting that 5-yard gain.
Give him 6 from to the 41. He's got it again, this time running to his left. Near a 1st down at the 46. He'll get it. Corey Garrison slid over to cut him down, but Nick Earls now, who's coming into the game at a rush for 124 yards.
This is good to see with Matthew Hallam still in there at center, that they're trying to run the ball between the tackles and push downhill.
Stay with a good thing as Earls has got it again, this time over left guard. Braden Steinbacher clears a path for 4 more for Nick Earls. Dylan Gackey upended him there. Steady diet of Nick Earls, the sophomore from Greenville.
I like it. And one of these times you might see an RPO where they pull it, patient ride, pull the fake, and then throw it downfield.
2nd and 7 from the 49. Handoff to Earls again. Plows his way across midfield to the 47. Sets up another 3rd down play. It was Gackey retreating to make the tackle.
When you think about situations on offense, Bob, you have run situation and pass situation. This still is run situation on 3rd and 4.
There's a play action to Earls. Vaccaro being chased, and he's tracked down by the aforementioned Gackey back at the 42. Big loss of 11 on that 3rd down. Calvin was 4 of 11 on 3rd coming into that play. Now 4 of 12, and watch big Dylan Gackey.
Yeah, just a costly mistake here by Vaccaro. You know, you don't want to take a sack at all, but you obviously, when you get on the perimeter, if it's not there, you've got to throw it away. Taking a sack is not what Trent Fig wants. He talked about that at halftime, losing the field position battle. This takes you out of being across the midfield line, and now Kalamazoo has a chance to get an advantage back in the field position game.
5:20 to go. Knights nursing a 4-point lead. Drake Irwin's end-over-end line drive kick is taken by the dangerous Hannafin at the 18. Angles to the sideline. Pushed out of bounds at the 28. 1st and 10 there for the Kalamazoo Hornets. Luke Bushhouse getting some special teams action there. Score updates from around the MIAA today, presented by NAI Wasinski of West Michigan. Big story this afternoon was Alma upending Hope 29-26 in overtime in Holland. Adrian dismantled Olivet 59-27. Tryon and Albion playing tonight in Albion. 1st and 10 from the 29 for Kalamazoo. 3 receivers to the right. The give is to Connor Bell running to his left. Turns it upfield and plows his way over the 35 to the 36. Sam Gallo there to meet him, along with Caden McCullough.
One thing you've seen both offenses do is try to manipulate the defense with formations. Keeping a tight end in the game, trips to the field, then they run it back to the boundary. Nice call by Jamie Zorbo.
Same play with Bell running to the left. Timmy starts out to the left, puts the foot in the ground, makes a 90-degree
Really
turn,
nice
and
cut.
finds that gap, the C gap there, and it's working.
It is working. It's a nice play call. You know, one of the stories we saw, the stat line, Bob, neither team very good on third down. 1 of 8 and 2 of 8 coming out of the half. Here's another third down. Let's see if Kalamazoo can convert.
3rd and 2 for the Hornets at their own 37. Skupin takes the shotgun snap, rolls right, has a man at the 48. It's Hannafin, driven out of bounds at the Calvin 47 by Minahan. Nice job by Lucas Hannafin finding that opening in that zone, and Skupin hit him.
Yeah, he did a great job getting separation without pushing off. He did what we call stepping on the defender's toes. He got right up on the safety, kind of got in his personal space, and then shifted and planted quickly with the left foot. Really nice route running and a good find by the quarterback Skupin.
On 1st and 10, they fake the jet sweep to Hannafin. Skupin on a designed quarterback run. Barrels his way across the 45 down to the 43. Caden Bolduc with the stop there.
I like the call. You got the smoke and mirrors of the jet sweep, and then it's a counter play. So they pull the guard and the tackle around. Guard kicks out, tackle leads up through. Really a nice run on 1st down.
Carson Schnurstein leading the Knights with tackles tonight with 8. Be the 4th straight game he's done that. 2nd down and 7 at the 43. They swing it out Hannafin on the left flat. Can't elude the tackler. Alex Minahan with some great cornerback play coming up to make that stop for a loss of a yard on Luke Hannafin.
It's a great play by Minahan. He had a blocker draped all over him, and what he did is he kept fighting to get his inside hand free. He got off the block, made a great shoestring tackle. Nice job fighting through the block with physical play and making the tackle.
3:07 to go in the 3rd. Calvin up 17-13. Big 3rd down. 3rd and 8 at the 34. This sellout crowd rises to their feet. Skupin on the shotgun, rolls to his right. Guns at right sideline, complete on a falling down grab by who else? Lucas Hannafin at the 37. That's going to be really close to a 1st down. I think he's short, Tim. I think he's short by about a yard.
He is, yeah. It's a long 1 yard. This is a great route. So this is a cross release. So Minahan is in coverage. Hannafin's the inside receiver. He and the outside receiver cross like a letter X. He goes outside and then breaks off the route. Nice play by the Hornets.
4th and 1. They hand off to Bell. 1st down. Rumbling, and he fumbled the football at the 30. Calvin jumps on it. Schnurstein, or rather Bolduc, recovered, and Calvin has the game's first turnover. Connor Bell had a 1st down over the 35, and as you can see, it was jarred out of his hands by big Matthew Zimrick, number 9. Or was it McCullough, 34?
I think Bolduc was in there
24.
as well.
Noah Funk.
Yeah, Noah Funk in there.
Funk.
And then Caden Bolduc applied a really strong hit at the point of attack, punched that ball out. What a huge play. I mean, that's a big 1st down that Kalamazoo gained, and then a costly mistake by Bell. Kudos to Caden Bolduc, pursuing the play, not giving up on it, punching out the football. Great job by the Knights. They've got to get some points now and broaden their lead.
Vaccaro on 1st and 10. Give it to Hogan. Big hole over the left side. Nice cut back inside, and then is stonewalled at the 34, able to pick up 7 there. I'll tell you what, that play by Funk and the recovery by Bolduc, Schnurstein, as Tommy Cardis drove him out of bounds, he being Hogan. Same thing, Tim, last Saturday night. Calvin's up by 7. Heidelberg's moving. They pick up a 1st down on a running play from Drew Miller, a fumble, turns it back to the Knights, and Calvin goes up by 2 scores.
Just a momentum-changing play.
Dabowski on, again, tunnel screen. Seth Anderson with a good block to spring him loose down the left sideline. He's got a 1st down out of bounds at the 38.
Play clock did not run on either of the last 2 plays. Play clock operator, can you reset the play clock to 2 minutes and 0 seconds?
Adjustment in the game clock, not the play
Game clock, yes.
Game clock.
Meanwhile, Caleb Dabowski with another grab after a big opener against Oberlin. He's been quiet, but he has really emerged here tonight.
What Ben Dixon has done a nice job of is playing games with what we call the alley player. It's either a rolled up safety or an outside linebacker. That player has to make a decision, am I in or out of the box? And anytime they've decided to commit to the run and be in the box, nice job of picking the ball up and throwing it outside.
Against the 4-man front, Vaccaro has time, throws left sideline complete to Seth Anderson. He slips Pepin's tackle to 46. Cargill takes him down at the 49 of Kalamazoo. Jack Duggan's also over there, but a good move by Seth Anderson, his first catch of the night, and another Calvin first down there on the move.
He's just a solo receiver on the backside running a 10-yard speed out. One-on-one coverage. Vaccaro sees it. Nice job.
Swings it out to Dabowski on 1st and 10. Anderson levels another block there, and Dabowski near a first down at the Kalamazoo 40 before Cargill bumped him out. Gain of 9, 2nd and 1.
The Knights clearly have an advantage with Mitchmerheisen and Anderson blocking corners on the outside. Very impressed with the physical blocking of these X and Y receivers on the outside of the formation.
Tempo now for Ben Dixon's offense. Thomas Vaccaro, another quick out to Anderson. This time it's not to Dabowski on the tunnel screen. It's just some cushion given by the corner, and a quick 3-yard pass picks up the first down to the 37-yard line.
And Bob, these are all double called plays, so if he wants to hand it off, he can. If he sees the leverage he wants on the outside, he can pick it up and throw it, and he's just taking what the defense gives him. Very patient, very heady. Nice job by Thomas Vaccaro.
Less than a minute to go here in the third quarter. Calvin up 17-13. Here's a double move. Vaccaro looking deep. Now he'll check down to Hogan at the line of scrimmage. Cargill tracks him down, but Hogan sheds the tackle and dances his way and weaves his way inside the 30 to the 27. That was all Hunter Hogan on that pass.
Absolutely was. This is what's called a pump and go screen. So immediately off the catch, we've seen that screen over and over and over again. This time, pump fake it. They tried to take a shot. It wasn't there. Vaccaro doesn't force it, and Hogan with the shifty moves to get 8 yards.
Hogan's got it again on 1st and 10. Handoff gets to the edge. First down inside, or near a first down inside the 20. Cargill and Cardis, along with Humphreys, there to run. It feels like Hunter Hogan's getting stronger here, and I think, Tim, part of that is Nick Earls has had a lot of carries tonight, and that's allowed Hogan to rest. He's not carrying it 40 times like he did last week.
That's right. It was a good spell he got on that last drive to get some plays off.
They give him 9, 2nd down and 1 at the 19-yard line, and that's the way this fast and furious third quarter ends. When we come back, the Knights knocking on the door. They lead at 17-13. We go to the fourth. You're watching the Calvin Sports Network on WXSP TV, Michigan Sports Radio, and 96.1 The Game. Presented by tonight, Denoyer Automotive Family, your greater Kalamazoo, Toyota, Chevrolet, Ford, and Jaguar dealerships. Back after this.
I had one goal. Olympic swimmer. I was ranked 7th nationally by age 12. When injuries ended that dream, I thought my life was over. But at Calvin, I discovered I'm not just an athlete. I'm a coach, a leader, a storyteller. Go beyond at Calvin University.
You don't always see what keeps you comfortable, but you feel it. That's what Bauman & DeGroot brings to homes, businesses, and now Calvin Athletics. Thanks to their expert HVAC services, our facilities stay game-ready year-round. Thank you, Bauman & DeGroot, for keeping us cool under pressure and warm when it counts.
Beginning this Tuesday, September 30th, join me and Calvin head coach Trent Fig for Inside Calvin Football on 96.1 The Game and Michigan Sports Radio. We'll be live from Big E's Sports Grill on East Bellline and be joined by players, coaches, and dozens of Calvin fans. It's a Calvin football party. That's Inside Calvin Football, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. from Big E's Sports Grill on East Bellline. Calvin with 2nd and 1 at the 19. They swing it to Dabowski on the left side, and he's got a first down along the sidelines inside the 10. And Tim, one of the things that's so evident about Ben Dixon and Trent Fig, when they see an advantage, they just keep drilling it, and we're seeing that with those quick outs.
So if you notice, they had Mitchmerheisen in the field. They wanted to see what the Hornets would do. They played cover 2, which means 2 guys over Mitchmerheisen, so they go away from it. I love the strategy.
On 1st and goal at the 9. Angles off left tackle. Dropped at the 6-yard line.
In an offense that's going to be successful for the whole season, you've got to have multiple weapons. You have to have multiple options. Mitchmerheisen has been bottled up a little bit. They've given him a lot of attention. He hasn't really broken out other than that double move earlier in the first half. And right now, Caleb Dabowski's really picked up that slack, making great plays.
Vaccaro runs option right, pitches to Hogan. Now he's going to reverse his field right to left. Angle toward the pylon. He's in. Touchdown. Calvin Knights. Hunter Hogan with a 6-yard Reverse field run, and Calvin has extended their lead to 23-13.
Bob, sometimes playmakers just make plays. That is not how you draw up the speed option, and he reverses the entire field. It's a speed option to the right. He scores at the left pylon. That never happens. What an incredible play. Great vision. He even got a little bit of a block from his quarterback as he cut it back. Just an incredible play, an individual effort by Hunter Hogan.
83 yards now on 22 carries for Hogan. Not as quite the 6 yards a crack that he's been averaging in the first 3 games, but he is starting to show flashes of that elusiveness here in the second half. On to attempt the extra point is Logan Knapp, and it's good. 14-10. 14-10 to go here in the fourth quarter. It's Calvin 24, Kalamazoo 13. Back after this on the Calvin Sports Network, brought to you by Denoyer Automotive Family.
At Calvin University, innovation powers everything we do, from the classroom to the field. It's how we learn, how we lead, and how we grow together. That's why we're proud to partner with Applied Innovation, a regional company providing practical advice and cutting-edge technology, automation and imaging to drive business forward. Thank you, Applied Innovation, for investing in the future, ours and yours.
Tonight's upcoming road trip has Calvin heading to Alma next Saturday for a 2 p.m. showdown with the Scots. That's fueling the night's upcoming road trips, powered by J&H Family Store. Start your next trip with a stop at J&H Family Stores located throughout West Michigan, and enjoy courteous customer service, quality products, and a safe, clean, and modern facility. By the way, you can hear that game on Michigan Sports Radio and 96.1 The Game next Saturday, airtime at 1:45. Kickoff taken by Aaron Zekman, and as he caught it, Calvin draws a break there because Zekman kneeled down to make that catch at the 19. Here's the question, was that a fair catch, or do they mark it there? I don't think he ever signaled for the fair catch.
No, he didn't signal. He tried to field a low ball rather than taking an additional step forward to catch it. His knee touched the ground. That's a costly error, and that's what Kalamazoo didn't want to do, is get pinned back inside the 20. But for the Knights, an added advantage here to have some field position in their favor.
1st and 10 for Kalamazoo at the just shy of the 20-yard line. Skupin turns, hands off to Landon Russell, running to his right. Hemmed in there at the 22 by Minahan and McCullough.
Bob, one thing to point out, you got number 9, Sam Gallo in there. You also have number 5, KJ Harp. This is a new group of defensive linemen. So clearly Trent rotating that front 3 to give some guys a break for the final push here in the fourth quarter. Pretty smart play to keep the D-line fresh.
Russell gained 3 on that last play. 2nd down and 7 at the Kalamazoo 23. Ball right smack dab in the middle of the field. Hannafin in motion. Skupin will set up the screen the other way, and oh my goodness, did Paul Hubbard put a lick on Landon Russell back at the 15-yard line. Russell caught that ball on that backside screen, and Hubbard absolutely annihilated the backup running back.
This is a tight end slip screen, so the quarterback Skupin rolls left, then turns his momentum and throws it back. The principle here is that you get the defense to flow, but that was not happening. Great job staying home, coming down field, and then finishing with a nasty finish. What a tackle. And that's, again, a huge momentum play. Now it's 3rd and 14.
3rd and 14. Skupin will roll to his left. Looks downfield along the sidelines. Oh, great throw and catch by Hannafin at the 29, right in front of Hubbard. I think he's going to be shy of the first down by a yard. Here's a tough call for Jamie Zorbo. 4th and 2, maybe 1 at the 29. Do you kick it or go for it?
No, I think you still kick it. You got to play the field position game in case you get a turnover later. You're awfully deep in your own end to go for it here. There's still almost 13 minutes left. I do think this is the right decision, but Calvin can widen the gap with a score or a block punt or a nice return. This is a big drive for the Knights to finish the game.
Paul Hubbard with perhaps the defensive hit of the game, and really the read as well as the tackle.
A great play. Just a great play.
Carson Moat standing back at his 15.
Timeout. Kalamazoo. Their first timeout of the half.
Bob, you can feel the momentum has completely shifted in Calvin's favor. That last drive coupled with the big hit, and now hopefully for them getting this 4th down punt taken care of. Really just a nice job shifting the momentum back in your favor after what was not the best start to the 3rd quarter for the Knights. You can just feel it in the air that they sense the opportunity to finish the game.
The second quarter touchdown pass from Vaccaro to Caleb Dabowski is our candidate for today's wing and pass play of the game, presented by Detroit Wing Company at Knapp's Corner in Grand Rapids. For your next watch party, call Detroit Wing Company for the Huddle Pack. 4 people for just $25. Eat it all at Detroit Wing Company. Calvin University Athletics offers summer sports camps in 15 different sports for kids in elementary school through high school. Visit calvinknights.com for a complete list of camps. Calvin Summer Sports Camps are sponsored by Power Strength Training Systems with 6 locations throughout West Michigan. With specialized training programs for high school and college athletes, plus customized training for adults over 40. Power Strength is West Michigan's comprehensive training center. Carson Moat standing back at his 15. He'll run the rugby punt. Boot it on a line towards the right sideline. It trickles out of bounds at the 34, and that's where Calvin will start 1st and 10 at their own 34. Don't forget Calvin's next home game is Saturday, October 18th, when Adrian comes to town. A few tickets remain. Whether or not you have a ticket, come to the stadium and enjoy FanFest, interactive event, beginning at 11 a.m. Brought to you by Pliables, Chick-fil-A, Spartan Stores, and Fast Signs.
Bob, if I were to cover up the stat line and say, what's Thomas Vaccaro's completion percentage, what would you say?
I'd say 80%.
92. Oof. He's only had 2 incompletions all day. Let's see if he can keep it going here on this critical drive.
24 out of 26.
Unbelievable. He's having a game.
On 1st and 10, he'll give to Hogan. Off left guard, plows his way near the 40. Tackled at the 39. Garrison hit him, so did Bryce Balabook. Boy, he's had a good game.
He's had a great game.
Senior out of Lowell.
Look at this formation into the boundary, trying to get Mismerheisen on a matchup. But see the 2 over 1? They're really trying to take him away. So taking what they can get on the run play.
Knights keep it on the ground with Hogan spinning out of a Garrison tackle, falling forward to the 41. Sets up a big 3rd and 3. And
this
trying to milk a little clock here.
Huge play, yes. I like how they're running the ball. They're committed to it. They're running the ball well. Wouldn't be surprised if we see that change of pace that we saw earlier with Nick Irwin, but a critical 3rd and 3 here. You got to get this 1st down conversion.
From the 41, Garrison showing blitz. Tommy Cardis now in the game, replacing Cargill at that other inside linebacker. Cardis, the Muskegon Catholic senior. 3-man front for the Hornets on 3rd and 3. Vaccaro back to pass. Nobody open. Throws it incomplete. Just sort of threw it away to Baalsma, intended for him at the 50. Good coverage and a pretty good rush as well.
It was really good coverage, yeah. What they were trying to get was a matchup. They like Seth Anderson on number 2, Alex Pepin. If you looked on the far side, they tried to run an out and up, kind of a double move. That was the read the whole way. It just wasn't there. Pepin did a nice job taking it, and you do have to give Vaccaro credit. You don't want to punt the ball here, but smart play. He threw it away, didn't take the sack, didn't fumble. Nice job by the veteran quarterback getting the ball out of his hand. But a win for Kalamazoo. They're getting the ball back. That's exactly what they needed. Still plenty of time left to get a drive put together.
We are 3 games and 3 quarters in. Thomas Vaccaro, other than the one, oh, what a punt by Logan Knapp. And Hannafin can't handle it at the 10. It's loose in the end zone.
It's a touchdown.
And still loose in the end zone.
Safety.
It goes out of the end zone. Boy, Zayden Jerko had a great chance to fall on that.
Yeah.
But
wow,
I don't think it's a safety, though, because
he
it was never in control.
You're right. Yeah, that's going to be a touchback, I believe. They're talking about it right now. The ball was never advanced. This is an interesting play. Trent's wanting the safety. We'll see what the ruling is on the field. It may be. Look at the Calvin sideline clapping safety.
Touch the ball in the end zone. That is a touchback by rule.
Yeah.
Lost it to 20
As you can see on the replay for those watching on the television broadcast,
could have been a touchdown.
Zayden Jerko is just as
missed opportunity.
As is Henry Steenwick. They are just going to kick themselves because both of them had a great shot at
just a strange play, right? I mean, you know, Lucas Hannafin is such a gamer, such a great player. He doesn't make mistakes like that often. Could have been a disaster for Kalamazoo. Instead, it squirts out of the end zone. They really dodge a bullet. What a game. Wow.
A ninth life for the Hornets here. 1st and 10 from their own 20, just inside of 11 to go in the 4th quarter.
Bob, notice the bracket coverage on Hannafin. See that 2 over 1 to the field?
Shotgun snap, scooping back to throw. Long throw to the right sideline, intended for Zekben. Airmailed it, incomplete.
I'm just really impressed with Jamie Zorbo's creativity. He's found so many ways to keep Hannafin hidden from the defense, whether it's motion, whether in that case they had a tight formation, he was stacked. Just different creative ways to try to get him into space. Really impressive by the Hornets.
3-man front shown by the Knights. Skupin surveys. Oldick shows pressure off the right side. Here they come with 4. Skupin back to throw. He's got a wide open Jaden Johnson streaking up the hash mark on a seam route. Well, that was a great throw, Tim.
That's what they call
really
a dime.
dumped it in there.
That's what they call a dime. Just a great throw. It's a cover 3, meaning you have 3 deep players. You have 2 corners with a third of the field and a middle safety. A great call into cover 3 is 4 verticals. So you stretch each of those inner zones, and just a rope thrown here by Skupin. A great throw to the tight end.
A 31-yard gain to the Calvin 49. Skupin back to throw again. He's going to take off and go along the right sideline. Has some yardage to the 42. Keep that in mind as one of the great throws of the game. Run out of bounds there by Schneerstein was Skupin. 2nd down and 2 at the 40. 2nd and 3 at the 42.
Look how quickly Kalamazoo's turned the field. They're deep in their own end on near disaster, and the Knights don't pounce on it. And now they're all the way in Knight territory at the 40-yard line. You got to seize those opportunities when you have a chance for a turnover.
2nd down and 3 from the Calvin 42. Skupin shotgun snap back to throw. He's got Johnson again as he lofts it up at the 25 along the numbers. Great throw. That shows his touch, and he did it right in front of Reed Vogler.
Yeah, this is a great ball. Vogler's only a freshman, and he had one-on-one coverage. It was cover 1, so 1 high free safety, man across the board. The tight end just wins the matchup against the freshman, and a perfect throw from Skupin.
A 19-yard gain down to the 23. Here's a quick into Hanifin. He's got it at the 20, stuck right there, but
Look at
still
the toughness.
is able to fall forward. Paul Hubbard hanging on for dear life along with McCullough, but Hanifin picked up 9 on that quick slant route.
It takes some guts to run a slant into the teeth of the defense. He took a shot from McCullough, held on, broke the tackle. Man, he's just an impressive player.
From the 14, 2nd and 1. The Hornets on the move. They trail 24-13, 9 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Skupin back to pass. Here comes the pressure. KJ Harp chasing. Throw to the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Zekman. Good coverage there by Alex Minahan, and a little pressure from KJ Harp.
That was the 10th catch of the game for Hanifin. Just an impressive night. He's just getting the ball in all phases, special teams. And that was just a heart and guts catch, you know, right over the middle. Knows he's going to take a shot, braces for it, and then breaks the tackle. Just an impressive player. Very impressed with his toughness and his skills.
3rd down and 1. Inside handoff. It is that backup running back.
4th down.
Kyler Majorana got maybe a yard. Brady Jacobs run support. 4th down and 1.
Looks like the Philadelphia Eagles get right to the ball. See what they do. I wouldn't be surprised if Kalamazoo uses a timeout here. There it is.
And they do, in fact, call a timeout. So 4th down and 1. And we'll keep it right here as big play coming up.
That last play, I just want to give a shout out. KJ Harp, he was the nose tackle. They pulled the guard around. He got right in his hip pocket. He followed the puller and made a great tackle. That's a huge play by the nose tackle inside. Nice job.
Today's 4th quarter is brought to you by Skipper No Strength Wealth Management, retirement planning that seeks to deliver the retirement outcomes you deserve. Make sure to check out next Friday night, Michigan Sports Radio and 96 Won the Game for complete high school football coverage. Over a dozen games on Michigan Sports Radio and wall-to-wall coverage on 96 Won the Game beginning at 6 o'clock with a pregame show followed by the game of the week.
All right, Bob, you're Jamie Zorbo. You've got you've got only 1 timeout left, 8 minutes, lots of time. Are you throwing the ball or are you running the ball? What are you going to do?
I'm going to kick a field goal. He's never not going to do it, but it's a 2-score game.
Yeah.
Your field goal kicker, Lewis, has been dynamite tonight.
Yeah.
Get it to a 1-score game, but they're going to go for it here on 4th and 1. He figures he's this close in the red zone.
I'm keeping it on the ground. If I'm him, they've got 2 tight ends in the game. I'm just going to jam it in there, try to get that 1st down on the ground.
Skupin's going to throw for it. Here's a quick in route. Incomplete, intended for Zekman. That is a call we did not expect. Minahan on the coverage. Boy, you got a 6'4", 220-pound quarterback with 1 yard to go.
I don't like that call.
And they worked out of the gun and threw an incomplete slant route.
Kind of surprised. I wouldn't have been surprised if they ran a quarterback lead, you know, followed the running back in there. You had 2 tight ends in the game. When you have cover 0 man coverage like that, the corners are going to be playing so hard inside. I'm not sure I like that call to run a slant. That's awfully tough. Great job by the Knights. That's exactly what they needed. Now they've got to use some clock. Typically a tempo offense, need to slow it down a little, get 1st downs on the ground and chew up some clock because Kalamazoo only has 1 timeout left, Bob.
First and 10 at the 14. Aaron Rice and John Krajicek with an interesting call there on that 4th down. Hunter Hogan's got it on 1st and 10.
Holding.
Flag on the play, likely holding.
You can't do that. You got to keep the chains moving without penalties. I think this one's coming back.
Clock at 8:14. If you just joined us, it has been a dandy. Kalamazoo opened the scoring with a field goal. Calvin tied it 3. Calvin led 10-3. Kalamazoo tied it at 10.
Number 66, half the distance to the goal.
Hallam
First down.
called for the holding. Kalamazoo tied it at 10, and then late in the first half, Calvin took a 17-10 lead into the break. 17-13 on a Kalamazoo field goal, and the Knights have extended their lead to 24-13 late in the 3rd quarter. It has been a hard-fought game between these two US 131 rivals on a gorgeous Saturday night for homecoming here at Calvin.
You know, we talked a little bit at the half break of Michael Liggett's absence, and, you know, you just miss your veteran center, right? It's really tough to replace that. This holding penalty backs them up. They've got to be careful in this dangerous situation.
1st and 18. After that penalty, the late handoff to Hogan. Balabuck says no way as the big Lowell senior stacks him up, along with Leonard Humphreys sliding in there.
You know, if you're Jamie Zorba, you really wish he had at least one of those timeouts back. Having to burn 2 of them with only 1 left and this clock rolling really gives Calvin a significant advantage if they can get a first down.
2nd down and 17. Vaccaro will throw. It's a double move to Mishmerheisen. He's going deep down the right sideline to him. Jump ball. Luke's got it, but out of bounds in front of Brandon Speed. Great throw, great catch. Just not enough real estate at the 45-yard line.
It really was.
The ball was caught out of bounds.
It was a great route. He pump faked it, very patient on the double move. But one thing I'd love to see Luke do a little bit better is what we call hold the line. So if you imagine a line, Bob, drawn down the bottom of the numbers, you want to stay there so you give the quarterback a 5-yard cushion to drop that ball in towards the sideline. Unfortunately, Luke got pushed out a little bit towards the sideline and he ended up stepping out of bounds. Just not much room to throw the ball. Still a great catch, still a pretty good ball. But you just want to give him that bucket to throw it in right on the sideline.
From the 8-yard line, their own 8, 3rd down and 18 for Calvin. Vaccaro out of his own end zone will throw a safe pass right sideline to Mishmerheisen. He's got it at the 13 and then is cut down right away by Humphreys.
So you're going to have to punt
it. 15-yard line.
Yeah, you're going to have to punt it deep in your own end. Not exactly what you're looking for. An injury timeout here, but what I like about what Mitch Merheisen did, even though he didn't get the first down, he stayed in bounds. That's really important. Kalamazoo has 1 timeout. That clock can chew and keep rolling and rolling. Important that Calvin keeps it moving as much as possible.
Injured Hornet down on the near sideline at the 13-yard line. I think it was
30 maybe?
Garrison. I thought Speed was able to make that tackle.
Might be Speed down again, I'm not sure.
We'll take a quick break. Back after this on the Calvin Sports Network tonight, presented by Denoyer Automotive Family, with a vision of providing guests the best automotive purchase and ordership and service. That's Denoyer Automotive Family. Back after this.
Biggie's Sports Grill, your next destination for any occasion.
With incredible entertainment and amazing food that makes you want to come back for more.
Where family memories are made.
Where sports are enjoyed and friends gather.
Cheers to good times, great friends, and a place where the game is always on. Only at Big E's.
Post-game show, including Tim Hiller's selection of a variety of awards tonight. Big E Sports Grill with 2 locations in Grand Rapids and 1 in Holland. It's the best place to catch this weekend's football action. Brandon Speed, the 5'9", 160-pounder senior from Florida, off on his own power to the sideline. And that brings out Drake Irwin for a Calvin punt on 4th and 10 from their own 14. So give credit to that Kalamazoo offense, or rather Kalamazoo defense, for stopping the Knights.
Be interesting to see if they come after it hard here. It looks like they are.
Do. Irwin got it away, a sort of a cross liner that takes a nice bounce all the way down to the 32-yard line. That's a great punt by Drake Irwin.
Kicking it away from Hannafin. Really smart, really smart.
52 yards. He kind of ran to his right and then cross his body, kicked it to the left away from Hannafin.
It wasn't pretty, but it got the job done and it got a lot of roll. That's exactly what you need deep in your own end. Get all that turn of the field. Make sure that Kalamazoo's pinned back a little bit further.
Kind of looks like my bad outside-in golf swing. Just a horrible form, but every once in a while it works. It's good enough to get me coming back.
If it's in the fairway, it'll roll and roll.
6:50 to go in the fourth quarter. Calvin nursing an 11-point lead. They're back on the defensive side here. 1st and 10 for Dawson Skupin at his own 32. Shotgun snap, back to throw. Quick slant route complete at the 40 and all the way up to midfield is Aaron Zeckman. Been fairly quiet tonight. Zeckman tackled by Caden McCullough, who had retreated for that and hurry up offense. Zeckman comes into this game with 13 catches.
Really nice throw by Skupin. It was man coverage, and he had the matchup he wanted. Nice job.
Here comes pressure. They come with a blitz. Swinging out to Connor Bell in the right flat. Jair Nolan cuts him down there at the 43. 7 more. Good call against that blitz. Zeckman, by the way, caught the winning touchdown in that opening season win against Austin College down in Texas. Slid behind a defender and reeled it in for a 70-yard TD pass. Was the go-ahead score, and it held. 2nd down and 4 from the 42. Back to throw is Skupin. Swings it right side. Flag comes in. Should be holding. The pass was complete in the right flat to the backup tight end. That's Hayden Johnston from Langsburg. Let's see what the call is. It's in that holding area.
Knight's playing a lot of man coverage, dialing up pressure, trying to get it out of Skupin's hands. He looked pretty antsy on that last one. His feet never really got set. That's a good job by Calvin bringing the pressure.
Offense.
Oh, not holding. It's a 15-yarder shot block. For those watching at home, listening at home, Tim, define that one.
Yeah, so a chop block is defined as a high-low block. So you've got someone blocking up high on the defender, and then you got someone that comes in low. You're not allowed to do that. That's a safety rule. And so when you come in low, when you're engaged up high with that blocker, obviously somebody can get hurt. A very costly personal foul penalty to put Kalamazoo way behind the sticks now.
2nd and 20 at their own 43 with 5:40 to go in this fourth quarter. Bell stays in the block for Skupin. He fires it right side, incomplete, caught and dropped at the 47 by the tight end Johnston. Right there was Caden Bolduck to lay a lick on him as he caught the ball and jarred it incomplete.
Yeah, even if that ball was caught, there was not going to be any further yardage. Nice job by Caden Bolduck. Played the play well in the flats, ran with it, and then was in a good position to make the tackle. Nice job. The clock is really not on Kalamazoo's side now. Only 5:29 to go, and they're way behind the sticks, 3rd and long.
3rd down and 20. Skupin, here comes the pressure. Zimrick chasing him, so is Hubbard. He flips it right sideline, out of bounds, incomplete, just to live another day. And now, Tim, here, what do you do? 5:20 to go. Do you kick it away? It's 4th and 20.
Yeah, this is just there's really no good answer, to be honest with you. You're way behind the sticks. You only have 1 timeout. There's still 5:22, which is a lot of time, but you're down 2 scores. I'd probably honestly punt it away. If it was more like a 4th and 8, a 4th and 6, the ball was across the 50-yard line, now we might talk about going for it. There's just no good call on 4th and 20 to get a first down, so probably a wise decision here to punt it away. Calvin's got a chew clock, right? They've got to run that ball. Maybe we see a change of pace with different backs in the game trying to run the ball downhill.
Flag comes in from the umpire. Next week, Calvin goes to Alma. Alma victorious today, and somewhat of an upset over Hope, 29-26, but not necessarily. Both Alma and Hope picked to be 1-2 in the conference race this year.
There's no foul on the play for too many players on the offense.
I think the umpire thought there was a substitution infraction, that there were 12 men, but Kalamazoo was able to get that 12th guy off the field. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Nick Earls a little bit, right, Bob? He came in that last drive, probably 2 possessions ago, ran the ball really well downhill between the tackles. That's exactly what you need to make Kalamazoo spend their last time out.
Carson Moat, rugby punts it towards the right sideline, out of bounds at the 28. And that's where what Trent Fig hopes will be the final drive begins for Calvin.
If you think about it, Bob, if you can get 2 first downs, maybe 3, Kalamazoo loses their ability to stop the clock. So really an important opportunity for the Knights to move the ball on the ground and get at least 1, if not 2 first downs, and force Jamie Zorba to use his last time out, and then he's powerless.
They'll mark it at actually the 38. cleared the sideline boundary in the air at the 38. So 1st and 10. Hogan in the lineup at that running back spot. Go with the one that brought you to the dance, and they'll do that. Hogan, big hole over the left side. He breaks it out to the sideline inside the 40 of Calvin, all the way to the 38. Does a great job of staying in bounds.
Yes.
Finally chased down by Ben Maurice. How about Hunter Hogan? He's over 100 yards.
Really a nice run here. It's a simple zone scheme, but look at the vision to bounce it once he gets to the second level, outruns a tackle, and then a great stiff arm on the edge against the corner, number 2, Pepin. Nice run, and then he stays in bounds. Probably the most important part of that play.
On 1st and 10, it's Hogan again running to his left. 5 more down to the 35.
I know Ben Dixon loves tempo, but I'd be like, hey, slow it down just a little bit. Take it easy. We don't need to get up to the line so fast. Look, there's 29 seconds on the play clock. Calvin's ready to snap it. I'd like to see him milk the clock just a little bit more.
2nd and 5 from the 34. Hogan now with 107 yards. He had 100 yards, 119 against Otterbein. He had 200 the last 2 weeks against Concordia, Wisconsin, and Heidelberg. And now for the 4th straight game, cracks the 100-yard marker. He came into this game as the 5th leading rusher in the country. He's got it again. Starts right now, goes left. Stacked up by Garrison. And Humphreys got a couple to the 33. Clock now inside of 4 minutes.
This is a huge 3rd down. Look at Nick Earls is coming in the game. You probably know what that means. We're going to see some downhill run game as he subs out Hogan. Critical 3rd down. You got to get this 1st down. Right now the play clock at 24. You really want to like break your little mini huddle about 10. Get up there and snap it at like 2. Maximize every second you can to force Kalamazoo into a corner here since they only have 1 timeout.
24-13 Knights, 3:30 to go. Vaccaro will throw for the 1st down. He's got his man. It's Klunder, slot left, and he uses the nice block again from Anderson to pick up the 1st down. Bilesma out there as well, inside the 30, and Tim, that may be all she wrote.
Yeah, no doubt. This is that same run-pass option that we've seen throughout the whole game. It's a bubble screen paired with a run. If Kalamazoo walks out, you hand the ball off. If they stay in the box, you throw the bubble screen. It's a good read by Vaccaro. He took what they gave him, a safe play. It's almost like a run play on the perimeter, and a critical 1st down with under 3 minutes to go now.
Ball to 27, 1st and 10, 2:55 to go. Nick Earls takes the handoff from Vaccaro and barrels off the right side. Tripped up by Bryce Balabook.
Using a little more clock here, the clock down under 2:30. It's tough if you're Jamie Zorba. When do you use your timeout? If he gets a stop here, I'd probably use it on 3rd down, but again, there's just not much under your control when you don't have the ability to stop the clock.
2nd and 7 from the 23. Earls tries the left side this time. Leonard Humphrey is right there to hem him in on the outside edge. No gain.
He's not going to spend it, but again, pretty powerless. There's not much you can do down more than a whole score.
We near the 2-minute timeout, and Calvin in great shape. They lead at 24-13, and we'll send it to the 2-minute timeout. Knights ready to salt away their 1st ever MIAA victory. That's coming up after this break. You're catching the Calvin Sports Network on WXSP TV, Michigan Sports Radio. And 96 won the game, presented by the Denoyer Automotive family, your greater Kalamazoo, Toyota, Chevrolet, Ford, and Jaguar dealerships. Back after this.
I've wanted to be a teacher since I was in preschool. As a teacher, I know that I am called to not only make an impact on the students that I teach, but to help them come up with creative solutions to be change agents themselves that Calvin has instilled in me to be an agent of renewal in this world. And how can they help be a problem solver? How can they creatively come up with solutions to better not only the space that they are involved in, but the space that others are involved in as well?
Yeah. 2 minutes to go. The Calvin Knights on the cusp of going 4-0. Yes, that's right. 4-0 in just their 2nd season, and maybe more significantly, getting that 1st ever MIAA win, a feat that eluded them last year. 3-4 frustrating, tough last possession losses. And they are 2 minutes away from salting this one away. 3rd down and 7 from the 23. Vaccaro will roll right, throws it low to Bilesma at the 18. He had it, but just couldn't hang on. It'll be 4th down. That'll send in the field goal team for what will be about a 40-yarder from Logan Knapp.
Thomas Vaccaro's been so good today. He's had just an incredible game, but man, that's a critical mistake, right? That not only does it stop the clock, but it costs you the opportunity for points and keeping the clock moving. Got to throw him an accurate ball, put it on him. It happens. No one's perfect. He's had a great game tonight, but an error you want to learn from.
Logan Knapp on to attempt a field goal from 40 yards out of the Tate Dome hole. Rowan Stewart with a snap. They struggled last week in Heidelberg. That operation is smooth, and he doinked it off the left upright. Just couldn't sneak it in, and a missed field goal. Had the distance. It just kept drifting, and it's no good. The score remains 24-13. So now, Tim, not over yet. 2-possession game. If you're Lamar Bell's defense, how do you play this with a minute 50 to go?
Well, I think you're still aggressive. You know, you've got time. If you just sit back and try to keep it in front of you, you run the risk of them gaining significant yardage, and a field goal does help them with an onside kick. So if I'm Calvin, I kind of keep doing what I've been doing. I'm probably not going to blitz a whole lot, but I'm still going to be aggressive playing on my base defense.
4-man front. Knights rush 4. Scooping to throw. He's got a man wide open over the middle. That's Zekman. Another first down out over the 45, across the 45 to the 46. Nice 26-yard gain. It was Caden McCullough back to make the stop.
Yeah, tempo's everything. You want to get the first down, get right up to the ball, and try to stretch the field again.
Scoopin has time again. He lofts it down the middle of the field. A dangerous pass caught by Hannafin at the 36. Right in front of Gage Jones. Boy, that could have been picked off.
That was dangerous. He had a lot of air on it. When you throw the ball over the middle like that, you really want to drive the football. We call it a level 2 throw. Not so much air, but not a bullet either. He kind of laid that one out, but Hannafin made a play.
A 19-yard gain. Here's an in route again to Hannafin. This one is too tall for the 5'9 senior. Incomplete. Kolanowski had come up from his safety spot ready to put a lick on Hannafin, but the ball sailed high.
You know, this does show the power of the Kalamazoo offense. I mean, in 2 plays, they've already turned the field and gotten into the Knight territory at the 37-yard line here, and they haven't had to use their timeout.
2nd and 10 from the Calvin 37. Scooping a roll right. Open along the sidelines is Zekman, complete out of bounds, a short gain to the 34, and so with 79 seconds to go, Calvin will take all kinds of those 4-yard passes.
For sure.
Third down and 7.
Kalamazoo's strategy, obviously, let's get yardage and get out of bounds. Again, save that timeout.
From the 34, this big crowd exhorting their defense on here. It's obviously 4-down territory for Dawson Scoopin. Shotgun snap, back to throw, fires over the middle, complete to Zekman again, spins out of Kolanowski's tackle, and then is finally spilled by Jair Nolan at the 15. That's a first down.
This is an uncomfortable drive for the Knights and a pretty impressive one so far for the Hornets. They have moved the ball effectively without even touching that one timeout. 1st and 10 here. They can still get a first down, Bob, just about the 5-yard line.
Scoopin has time. The ball's tipped at the line of scrimmage. I think it was big 94. When you're 6'7", you can do that.
It's an
Matthew
unfair
Zimrak deflected it, and it falls incomplete, and he'll come out replaced by KJ Harp.
Just really dangerous if you're scooping. You don't want that ball to get tipped up in the air like that. Could have been an interception.
2nd down and 10 at the 17. Clock shows 64 seconds to go. Scoopin's thrown for 319 yards today, 28 out of 47 through the air. He keeps Connor Bell into block here. 2 receivers stacked to each side. Hannafin, the flanker, on the left.
Showing pressure here, man coverage across the board.
Calvin brings 6. Scoopin running for his life, and they're going to get him back at the 31. Carson Schnerstein, who else done it all season long, and he dumps Kalamazoo's quarterback back at the 32-yard line. Watch this pressure.
Kalamazoo
brought 6. Scoopin never had a chance, and Carson Schnerstein comes up with a sack.
Yeah, with what we've been used to seeing from Carson Schnerstein, he's been a little bit quiet for him tonight, but at the right time, he makes a big play. He's probably the best blitzer the Knights have. This is full-on cover 0. I like the aggressive call. There's no safety in the middle of the field. They bring the pressure, and if you're Dawson Scoopin, he's had a great game, but you cannot take a sack in this situation. A costly mistake. They have to burn their last time out. It's exactly what Calvin needed, and now a difficult situation with yourself behind the sticks. Almost, 20 yards to go here just to get a first down.
Don't forget, after the game, stay with us for the Big East post-game show. We'll take a quick break and then talk to Trent Figg down on the field right after this, what is looking more and more like to be a win. All the final stats and analysis and a host of awards to pass out from Tim Hiller tonight. That's all ahead on the Big East post-game show. I want to thank our spotter tonight, Bill McElroy, rookie in the booth, doing a great job here on his debut on this Saturday night.
He's more than a rookie. He's an old pro. It's like riding a bike. He got back to it. He got in his groove. He did a great job. Thanks for helping us.
Adam Tozer and Nate Porter in the truck calling the shots, doing a great job.
Look at the pressure again, Bob. Now, they might bluff and bail out of it, but right now, look at that. Cover 0, bring in the heat, and why not? You got nothing to lose. Even if they score a touchdown, you're still in the lead. Make him get it out of his hand quickly.
3 receivers to the right on 3rd down and 23. Skupino swinging out in the right flat to Hannafin. Oh, good tackle by Minahan at the 24. Cut him down there, saved any more yardage, sets up 4th down and 17.
Interesting that they didn't get out of bounds, though, right? So, Bob, right now the clock is running at 40 seconds. The field goal helps you, but now you've got to onside kick it and go for 2. That timeout just really hurts the Hornets.
Cameron Lewis will try it from 40. It's on its way. It has the distance, and it's good. This one's not over yet. Kalamazoo makes it a 1-score game with the 3rd field goal of the night by Cameron Lewis. Give them credit. That was the sort of the fire drill field goal. They got the field goal unit on there. The operation was smooth, and he knocked it down from 40.
Yeah, they lost about 15 valuable seconds because he wasn't able to get out of bounds, but they clearly played to the field goal there. They saw the pressure. They just ran the bubble screen to who else? Their best player, Lucas Hannafin, wasn't able to get out of bounds. That's a great play by the Knights secondary of bringing him down inbounds, costing another 15 seconds. But hey, a great kick, 40 plus. That's hard to do. And now, obvious onside kick situation. You have to recover it. You have to score. You have to go for 2. It's still a long shot, but they're not dead yet.
Eddie Langston will tee it up at the 35. Tim, what's the strategy here for those 10 guys who are within 15 yards?
Yeah, so obviously the kicker here is going to try to kick a grounder that pops up. So you want that nose of the football to hit the ground and then kick high in the air. Usually your first 2 rushers, if you're Kalamazoo, are just the takeout guys. They're really going to try to initiate contact, create a wall, and block for their guys. And then you usually put a sure-handed receiver on that second row of pursuit. Their job's to high point that ball and try to come down with that pop-up. It's a tricky play. It's got to be perfectly struck. It's got to bounce up in the air. If you're Calvin, you have the advantage, right? You can attack the football. You can touch it. You just don't want it to directly hit you because obviously that's a fumble inside of 10 yards.
Trent Figg spent a timeout there. He has still 2 left, but
yeah, I like
such
that.
a critical kick. You want to make sure everybody knows what to do. And in a typical fall camp, how much do you practice this?
You practice situations a lot. You know, it's usually not your first week of camp, but that second week you work on things like your short yardage plays, your onside kicks, your fake punts. Sometimes if you're losing, you work on a rugby type play where you lateral the ball multiple times. You've got to work on all those situations, and it's important that they do. No doubt you've worked on this, but how often do you get to use it in a game? No more than a couple times a year, so we'll see what happens.
Eddie Langton, the sophomore from Clarkston, has it teed up at the 35. He'll onside kick it left to right. Good high bounce, and it's caught by who else? Hunter Hogan falls on it at the 46, and Calvin is 26 seconds away from winning their first ever MIAA game and moving to 4-0 on the season.
Pretty awesome, pretty awesome. Hunter Hogan, the word that comes to mind, Bob, is perseverance. You know, he never quite broke free. He never quite had the big plays in the first half. He stuck with it. Look at that, 115 rushing yards. It didn't feel like it, right? And he just stuck with it, and at the critical moments, he broke big plays. He scored a touchdown, and very fitting that he recovers the onside kick to win the game.
The victory formation set up for Thomas Vaccaro at the 46. And Calvin will win this football game 24-16 in front of the sellout homecoming crowd. We will step aside. When we come back, we'll be joined by Trent Figg, the victorious coach down on the field. That's all that and more coming up on the Big East postgame show. You're watching the Calvin Sports Network on WXSP, Michigan Sports Radio 96.1 The Game, presented by the Denoyer Automotive family.
At Calvin University, innovation powers everything we do, from the classroom to the field. It's how we learn, how we lead, and how we grow together. That's why we're proud to partner with Applied Innovation, a regional company providing practical advice and cutting-edge technology, automation and imaging to drive business forward. Thank you, Applied Innovation, for investing in the future, ours and yours.
Biggie's Sports Grill, your next destination for any occasion.
With incredible entertainment and amazing food that makes you want to come back for more.
Where family memories are made.
Where sports are enjoyed and friends gather.
Cheers to good times, great friends, and a place where the game is always on. Only at Big E's.
Welcome to the Big East post-game show after the Calvin Knights have defeated the Kalamazoo Hornets in an entertaining and heart-pumping game here, 24-16 at Calvin University. Joined by Trent Figg, the victorious head coach. And Trent, you talked about this game all summer long. This was one that you wanted bad, dating back to last year, but more significantly because you knew in front of the home crowd on a sellout Saturday night, it was going to be a chance for the first MIAA win. How does it feel, and what does it mean to Calvin University to win this first game?
Yeah, it's huge, Bob. I mean, homecoming night game for our team to come back this year, flip the script on this game was big, man. I'm so proud of our players, so proud of our coaches. It was a gritty deal tonight. I mean, we had to grit the win out, but we came out in the second half with a lot more energy. The turnover our defense forced in the second half, I thought was huge. Offense responded, goes down the scores. You know, I thought that really changed the game for us, but man, our players played so hard. They never waver on the sideline. Coaches did a great job, man. We're just so incredibly blessed to stand here and, coach this football team.
How about that fumble, Trent? Same thing happened last week at Heidelberg.
Yeah.
Miller runs for a first down. They jar the ball loose, recover it, and that changes the whole flow of the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's our guys' work all week long. We emphasize that day after day after day, and you just have to grind it out, and then the ball comes out.
Hey, Trent, Tim here. A sign of a great team is when you win, but you're not super happy with it. I know right now, you and I both know it's hard to win. It's hard to win in your conference. You got it done tonight, but you and I both know there's a lot left in the tank. What's your message to the guys after this game? Oh, my
gosh. I mean, the whole deal was how we came out. We came out flat, yep. I felt like. We came out with just not energy. And that's on me. That's on our staff. We got to get that fixed. But the penalties, again, I mean, we haven't had penalties like that all year. We set ourselves back behind the chains again and again tonight, and it hurt us. Field position is what we have to coach big time this week. Our special teams were not what they should have been tonight, but we're going to get that fixed. We'll be ready to go next week.
Quick word on Hunter Hogan, if you don't mind. Not maybe what we're used to with the explosive plays, but the word in my mind, Trent, perseverance. He stuck with it, and at the right time made plays. He had 121 yards still, 4.1 a carry. Talk to his perseverance and energy tonight.
I mean, Hunter's such a tough kid. He touched the ball 46 times last week, and he was hurting. He did not practice enough this week, and it shows. His body's hurting, so we've got to get him healthy. He brings so much energy to us, and early in the game, we had to get him going.
Trent, last question for you. Thomas Vaccaro, phenomenal stats tonight. 26 of 31 through the air for 235, and seemingly just good decisions all night long. How comfortable is he making the right calls now and then?
What's different is he's coming off the sideline and he's talking to Coach Dixon. He's talking to me. He's saying, I'm seeing this. I'm not seeing that. He's growing up every week, so I think this was his best performance. He took care of the football. I think he's getting better.
Trent Figg, congratulations. Go enjoy a happy, happy locker room. 4-0 heading to Elma next week.
I appreciate it, man. God bless. Go Knights.
Trent Figg, the victorious coach after Calvin comes away with this 24-16 win. We'll step aside. When we come back, take you through a few final stats, final comments from Tim Hiller, and a host of awards that Tim has to difficultly select here in this Big East post-game show. That's all ahead, coming up on the Calvin Sports Network, presented by Denoyer Family Automotive.
Calvin showed me the importance of a family-like community. I saw this sort of community present in both my academics and in my athletics. On the field, my lacrosse team took Proverbs 27:17 to heart. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Saying Calvin became my home away from home does not do the place justice. The relationships I made in my time here and the spaces I've grown familiar and fond of have truly made Calvin my home. Calvin University, go beyond.
Join the next generation of global business leaders at Calvin University School of Business, offering 8 undergraduate majors and 2 master's degrees, and exceptional faculty with real-world experience who will partner with you and guide you along the way, and opportunities to participate in internships, study abroad programs, and hands-on learning experiences. This is Calvin University School of Business. Your future begins here.
Oh, on a beautiful September evening, you can see the overhead shot of Calvin's new football field that will soon be a new football stadium, but that's in the future. The current is the Calvin Knights are 4-0 in just their second season by virtue of tonight's thrilling 24-16 win over U.S. 131 rival, the Kalamazoo Hornets. Bob Sack alongside Tim Hiller one final time as we bring you inside the Big East post-game show brought to you by Big E's, a great place to watch all the games this season, just down the road on Beltline, as well as downtown Grand Rapids in Midland and one in Holland as well. Well, Tim, just an exciting game tonight. Quick scoring recap. Calvin jumped out, actually trail early on after a field goal in the first quarter by Kalamazoo. Made it 3-0. Knights tied at 3 on their own field goal. The teams traded touchdowns in the second quarter before Calvin scored on a touchdown toss from Caleb Dabowski from Thomas Vaccaro to make it 17-10. That's the way the first half ended. A field goal by Kalamazoo, the second of 3 from Cameron Lewis, would make it 24-13. And Calvin hung on, getting a holding off, actually 17-13, then made it 24-13 on the drive that resulted in that 2-score lead before the field goal at the end by Kalamazoo made it 24-16. A lot of awards to give out, but first let's go take a look at the final stats and get your thoughts on some of these key stats. Total yardage today, 411 to 390. Kalamazoo actually had the edge there. Dawson Skupin was 30 of 49 for 347. Vaccaro 26 of 31 for 235. Calvin was penalized, as you heard Trent Figg say in the post-game show several times, 6 for 38 yards. Calvin's defense really coming through on third down, 3 of 15 for Kalamazoo, which is just 20%. That's below their average of 59% coming into the season. Calvin, 5 of 16. That's about 30%, a little better than Kalamazoo had been allowing as well. Knights win the time of possession battle as well. So overall, a game, I think, statistically, that probably reflects the final score, 24-16, Calvin.
Agreed. It was really a good defensive battle throughout. I was very impressed with the Hornets' front seven. I thought they did a nice job throughout the game, giving Hunter Hogan and company fits, really getting in the lap of Thomas Vaccaro. But I'm also super impressed with the improvement of Calvin's offensive line. You know, that was a story last year. We didn't know week to week who was going to play, who was going to start. It was a young group. It was an undersized group. And, man, they showed up tonight, and they just blocked really well. They protected the quarterback. They got Hunter Hogan loose at the right time. We saw Earls come in and run downhill successfully. Very impressed by the Knights in the trenches. And ultimately, line play and defense wins games, wins championships, and it got it done tonight.
Time now for our defensive player of the game, brought to you by Straight Line Fence. You got a lot of people to choose from.
A lot of people to choose from. You know, I decided I'm going to go with Caden McCullough, kind of the unsung hero. He wasn't slated to start. Martins is out, and that's a tough position to be in a really good linebacking core. And he steps in for Trevor Martins and shows up and has a great game. 8 tackles total. He was around the football all night, made some key third down tackles to force punts. So I'm going to go Caden McCullough, number 34. Nice job on the defensive front for the Knights.
That's today's defensive player of the game, brought to you by Straight Line Fence, transforming properties across Michigan by crafting fences that provide sanctuary, security, and self-expression. Committed to care and craftsmanship, Straight Line Fence has earned a reputation as Michigan's most trusted fence installer. Call Straight Line Fence today and start building something beautiful. Now it's our Bauman and DeGroot player of the game for his performance.
Yeah, there's lots of good options here, but I'm going to go Thomas Vaccaro. How can I not choose him with almost a 90% completion rate? He had such a great game. I was so impressed with his poise, throwing the ball away at the right time when he had to, hanging in the pocket, running when he needed to. Just a remarkable game for him. So efficient. Just did a great job. I'm impressed with his growth week to week, and he's going to have a great season for the Knights. Just a nice job taking care of the football.
Just 1 interception in 4 games, and I'll give him the award for the People-Driven Technologies ball security of the game, because you're absolutely right. When you take care of the ball like that, that is a secure quarterback running the show. Our Paris Motors drive of the game certainly had to be the winning touchdown that was capped off by the final run, a final TD, the Hogan 6-yard TD run that capped a 10-play, 74-yard drive to open the fourth quarter, and that made it 24-13. That's our Paris Motors drive of the game. Find your drive at Paris Motors, with our friendly and knowledgeable sales staff is here to help you find the car that you deserve. All right, got a couple more for you.
I'm ready.
The Energizing the Nights player of the game, brought to you by Playa Bowls at Knapp's Corner, your morning booster.
You know, the
Who's your
Energizer tonight to me was number 0, Caleb Dabowski. Not a guy we expected, not someone we thought would be featured, and he played such an important role tonight. He had the huge bubble screen up the sideline, sprung by Mitch Merheisen's block, had the touchdown later. Just a great game. Kind of a guy that we didn't expect to emerge, but players make plays in big moments, and he stepped up and proved he can be a worthy third option for the offense at the receiver position.
Yeah, we talked about how all night long and really throughout all season, Trent Fig and Ben Dixon have found ways to exploit the defense.
Absolutely.
Mitch Merheisen, who was the big hero last week with the touchdown catches to win it and the 10 receptions, pretty quiet tonight.
But I think what shows his leadership, I mean, he had 3 great perimeter blocks that sprung plays. So even when you're not getting touches, he's still committed to the cause. He's still out there playing hard. And he did have a couple great catches where his third down, he fell forward, converted the first down. Also had the big double move on that long catch. Still a solid game for him, even though it was a little bit quieter than usual.
Well, and he draws a lot of attention.
He does,
and that opens
and that's
up
important.
Things for the other players. I'll get the last 2, Tim. That's a block that Mr. Merheisen threw to spring Dabowski. Luke, that's our Visser Brothers teamwork play of the game. Visser Brothers General Contractors. We're a team of dedicated people. Project professionals, knows how to maintain your construction process on schedule and on budget. Our last award of the night is the Winging It Pass Play of the Game, presented by Detroit Wing Company, and that was that touchdown pass, critical from Thomas Vaccaro to Caleb Dabowski in the corner of the end zone. Just a really, again, key play that gave Calvin the 17-10 lead heading into the break at halftime. All right. 24-16. Would you ever have thought that the Calvin Knights would be 4-0 in just year 2 of their young football existence?
I might not have predicted it, but I also can't say I'm surprised. Just the energy of Trent Fig, the preparation of his staff, and then just you see the quality of the offseason, just the work these guys put in. They're committed to the mission. You see the new turf behind us. I mean, things are on the up and up here at Calvin. It's very impressive, and this is a huge momentum builder. Going into a tough game next week, Alma coming off the win over Hope, kind of an upset no one predicted. But this is the way you need to start an MIAA play, and it's exactly – was it perfect? No. Was it hard? Yes. But Trent will take it, and I think he's got to be excited because there's more in the tank. They can play better than this, and they're 1-0 in the league, 4-0 overall. It's a good place to be.
Last year, Alma came here to Grand Rapids and demolished the Knights 65-13. And
maybe they keep receipts?
Yeah, I'd say they keep a few receipts. It'll be a tough battle against a highly touted Alma Scots team, but again, this is a different Calvin team. Should be a lot of fun next week. Tim, great working with you. So glad to have you back in the booth. We'll get you again later on this season. I want to thank Coach Trent Fig for all his help for preparation of this game. Jim Timmer and SID Jeff Phoebus and his great staff giving us all we need here in the box. Kalamazoo SID Steve Wydeen for his good work, and AD and football coach Jamie Zorbo, always good to work with as well. I want to thank our broadcast crew tonight. Lucas Moore, executive producer, Adam Tozer and Nate Porter were the producers. Carl Hordyke and Justin Kendall were our audio engineers. Great camera crew working hard. Our spotter was Bill McElroy. I want to thank Brock Conkle at Michigan Sports Radio and the iHeart Media studio folks. Charles Keegan operating the board back at 96.1 The Game, and Brett Paquita, the sports director there. Thank all the sponsors who made this possible tonight. Just a wonderful night here. Calvin caps a great homecoming weekend. Jeff Haverdink and his home alumni crew doing a wonderful job all weekend long, and so many great activities. And I'm not sure there's a better way to cap it off than a 24-16 football win on the first ever homecoming football game on Calvin's campus. So that'll do it. Most of all, I want to thank you, the fans, for joining us tonight. It was an absolute delight to bring it to you. So much great football this weekend, and this one will be warm in our hearts for a long time as Calvin comes away with a 24-17 win. Once again, our Fast Signs final score, Calvin 24, Kalamazoo 16. See you next Saturday, folks, from Alma. 1:45 broadcast time on 96.1 The Game and Michigan Sports Radio. That'll do it for tonight. So long, everybody. Once again, the Fast Signs final. It's Calvin 24 and Kalamazoo 16. Good night, everybody.